What is up, everybody? As you can see, it's just me again. Luke has a valid excuse not to be here tonight. Krampus showed up and took his ass to hell because he's a naughty boy. But that's him. I don't know what he's doing. Keeps getting taken back to the bad places where the bad kids go. So how's everybody doing today? Let's do a quick run through here. Say hi to everybody. Aaron, what's happening, my brother? And Ray, glad you stopped by. Thanos, what's happening? Yeah, right. What can you do with these teenagers nowadays? Just, it's all good. He's lucky I love him. Otherwise, I'd have to beat him. I'm sure he'll show up late like usual. Try teaching these kids about punctuality, and they just don't understand. Oh, look at this guy. What's up, punk? So I do know that he knows about the show because I talked to him earlier about getting something together for it. So that's not the one I wanted. Where's the fat red boo? Luke didn't stand me up. The Krampus came and got Luke. So Luke is in a satchel with a bunch of other naughty children on his way to the bad place. So hopefully he escapes and shows up at some point in time, but we'll just roll along without him because, that's what we do. Maybe I should start the show with a couple of things that need to be discussed, I guess. So first of all, for all you guys that are in the group, been here a long time, coming every Tuesday to see this strange show that Luke and I usually do. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all very much. There's a lot to be said about the community that we built around these plastic addictions that we have. So it's kind of funny that, I would trust my back to Payne and Thanos and Fat Red Foo and even you, Ray, and we haven't even talked for that long. I trust my back to you guys. Lawrence, not so much. He'd only be covering the bottom half, so I'd have to worry about him watching my back. But, other than that, I'd still trust Larry to watch out for me. But with that said, so next year, the Crick is probably going to change a little bit. There's some things that are going on that is going to change things. Not really sure how much, but so one of the things I will tell you is that next month, probably around the 15th of January, I'm going to be moving to Lawrence's favorite state. I am moving to Columbus, Ohio. So that will be happening next month. I'll be starting to move out of here right after Christmas. Get most of it out, stored at my parents' house until I get into my apartment or whatever down there. I got a really good friend of mine who lives down there, who's helping me get located and relocated and all that. He has a lady that he knows that has like a extended stay apartment hotel type of thing where you can stay for as long as you need to. For a pretty reasonable price. So that's where I'm going first. I can stay for a week. I can stay for 2 months. It doesn't matter until I find the right place to live. But time to pony up and move on out of New York. Let's put it that way. Lots of things going on here in New York that just are not good. And sometime in January or early next year anyway, Luke will be going on to some new adventures as well. I'm not going to discuss that much until he's ready to or wants to say it or whatever. But yeah, so I'm still going to do a show. Depending on if things happen for Luke the way he wants it to, he might not be able to. So I might do a show solo. I don't know if I can go 3 hours like rambling Larry, but I will definitely still be doing a show. I will definitely miss the Crick, but sometimes in life you make decisions to stay in places that you probably shouldn't, and there's reasons to move along. And all my kids, fortunately, are all adults and moving along as well. So, um, not much really here left for me to stick around for. All my friends are either online or uh, my one friend lives in Cleveland and the other one lives in Columbus. So that's where everybody's at. Absolutely, Payne. New adventures. And I'm going to go there and yeah, what my plan is, Fat Rafu, is to go down to Ohio and make it a better place so Lawrence will actually enjoy coming there. Yep. Sometimes sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And around here, there's a lot less opportunity where I live because I live out in the middle of nowherevilles in Western New York, and the job market's shit. And there's really, like I said, there's really nothing much left here for me. Kids will be leaving. Parents are my parents, and we won't discuss them because I don't want to say anything negative about them. But they're the type of parents you visit once in a while. So even if I'm in Columbus, I'll probably see them maybe one less time a year than I do while I'm 20 minutes away from them. So, Larry, I just might do that. If I get some, new subscribers and enough watch hours, I'll just start streaming. I'll be making all sorts of money because I'll have to just sponsor the shit out of me. But anyway, with that said, we'll still be around. I'll still be all over the place like usual, but just want to let you guys know that there might be some changes coming and new adventures. But let's jump into the news for the week. Now, there wasn't a lot of toy news for the week, but there was some good news. So hang on a second. Wrong button. Sorry, I did not want to sneeze that loud on the microphone, blow your guys' eardrums out. Oh, don't worry, Fabric Food. The chair will definitely be coming with me. Maybe not when I first move down because I got to see how much room I have in my place and all that. But within a month of being down there, I find my place to stay for a while. I will definitely be bringing my chair, and I actually have a twin to go with it that I'll be bringing down too. So if I ever have a co-host that wants to do a show live, we'll both have awesome chairs. Payne, how's that diorama coming? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, Thanos. I appreciate that. You know most of the story with the current job market and stuff around here that I've told you guys about. So in our group chat there. So I look forward to it. It's I'm 50, so moving again. I decided when I was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that I wasn't going to move again when I got married and we moved into our home and raised our kids, and then we got divorced and I moved twice, and now I'm 50 3 years later and I'm going to be moving again. So it's life, it's all good though. Hey Oz, how you doing, brother? Glad you showed up. So anyway, let's jump into the news. First of all, I'd like to give out a couple of big thank yous from the Crick. These are in no specific order. Nobody in particular gets more importance than anybody else. True story, Lawrence. True story. But to start with, these are some pictures that were taken at PowerCon, and I still have no idea what happened to the picture of Oz and I from PowerCon, but it was taken. Somebody has it. But anyway, big shout out to the boys at Hella Dope Toys, Ted and Aaron, for making me part of your sexy trio and let me help you guys do some things with your business that hopefully have helped. Maybe they haven't. I don't know, but you guys are awesome, and I love you guys. And I'll be right down in your neck of the woods real soon, so we can maybe we can do a re-release of a new Sexy Trio album or something. I can do a little rapping. And then, of course, Mr. Wonderful, him and I, it's kind of a funny story how Mr. Travis and I got to talking. I was doing a diorama out of foam. I think it was the throne for my AWOCs. And Travis hit me up on DMs and on IG and was like, hey, how are you doing this and this and this? And, we were comparing notes and talking back and forth and stuff. And then since then, that was, I think, I don't know, whenever the AWOCs first came out. So it's been since then. And him and I have talked probably every day. He hung out the entire time we were at PowerCon. So he's a really cool dude. Then the short motherfucker down in the corner, everybody knows Lawrence. As he said last night, nobody really likes Lawrence. You either love him or you just hate him. There's no like for Lawrence. So I definitely love Lawrence. I think he's a great guy. Nothing wrong with, rubbing people the wrong way when the people that are rubbed the wrong way are those type of people and they don't matter anyway. Yes, Oz, you know that. I told you I was going to be moving to Ohio, and it's going to be happening next month. Moving to Columbus. Yeah, Lawrence is pretty special. All these four guys are on this picture are special, and this is another group of really special people. So, first of all, Oz and Payne and Thanos and Brick, who's all part of our normal Saturday night hangouts, and we have our group chat on the IG. You guys are awesome. You guys have helped me through some crazy shit over the last couple months, and I totally love you guys and totally appreciate you guys. More than I could probably ever express. So thank you all. Again, Oz got me this as a special Christmas gift because he knew I couldn't swing it at the moment, and totally appreciate that. I hope we get to open these Saturday, so I have it open before Christmas. Thanos, waiting for yours to show up. But anyway, and then Largo and Will, you guys are my boys. Love being on Largo's Lair with you guys, doing our mental health stuff and, the infinite playlist and all that. And then, we got Jeff and Adam. You guys don't really know Jeff and Adam very much, but Jeff is Skunkworks Studios. Adam is the G.I. Joe The Lost Chronicles. They are more into the G.I. Joe 1/6 scale stuff, which is kind of where I used to hang out all the time. And those two guys are rock solid dudes. Jeff and I have been friends now for probably 15 years at least. And we started on Facebook, never actually met. Hopefully now I'll be in Columbus, which is only 4 hours from where he lives instead of 8. And maybe we can meet up somewhere and hang out for the day or something. Then, of course, Allison, who everybody loves Allison. She will tell you exactly like it is and tell you if you're being a Carl or her ex's mother. So if you ever want to be told the truth, just ask Allison the question. Hey, K-Roll. And then, of course, we got Radnom. Radnom and I go back and forth on some suggestions for not just building dioramas and stuff, but life in general. And we've talked about some different things to do and all that. Teflon 3, he doesn't do much on Facebook, but he is really big on IG with me. He's the guy that I do a lot of collaborations with the stories and stuff like that. And he's a really great guy and really liked him. He came up and stayed with me over the summer for a couple of days, a long weekend, and we had a lot of fun hanging out at the Crick and taking pictures and stuff like that. And Fat Rafu, him and I just started talking a few months back, thanks to the Radnom show. I believe it was Radnom show. And Fat Rafu's a really decent guy. He's just doing some diorama stuff into the 1/18 scale, which is a totally different scale than the most of us are into also. So, and if I forgot anybody off this list, I apologize. I know there's like Kayla, who's, Kayla's awesome, and Bud is awesome. But the people on this list and on the page previous are like the people that really, I've done things with and actually, conversed with and things like that. So all of you guys, love you. Appreciate y'all very, very much. More than I can express. And then my biggest thanks goes out to this crazy dude who's not even here right now. He's going to miss the whole thing. But Luke, I don't know where the hell you are right now, but man, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, brother. From the time you were this little dude right here in the right-hand side, sleeping on my lap while I took a nap, up until 18 years later, man, you've been my best friend. And the last 3 years for our entire family has been pretty rough. And you've been probably the most solid of all of us. So I appreciate you, man. And I respect you in more than just the way a father respects his son. You are truly a solid 18-year-old man. So I wish you the best in the future. And before I start crying, I'm just going to move on from that. So now we'll get into some news from the Crick. So recently, and because it's Christmas time, of course. Oh, hold on. I didn't see this dude pop in here real quick. Briscoe, what's happening, my man? Naughty or Nice was dropped by Fresh Monkey Fiction for next year's releases. This year's releases are finally hitting BBTS. Unfortunately, it's the only place you can get them at. But pretty cool, solid figures. They're doing the whole Naughty and Nice thing, but the really cool thing about this coming year is the reindeer, which I will get to on a separate slide. But for Fat Red Foo, hey, next year they're coming out with 4-inch ones, 1/18 scale Santa Claus. So if you're looking for Naughty and Nice on BBTS, you got to look for the Pocket. What are they called? Pocket Collection. They're 1/18 scale. So you'll have a 1/18 scale Santa that's pretty decent looking. So just a couple of the highlights from next year's releases. I thought this casual, Santa was pretty cool. He's got the button-up shirt and comes with a pipe and all that kind of stuff, a little book, and just kind of chilling out. And then their Father Christmas. I love the Father Christmas in green from Four Horsemen, figure obscura. But this Father Christmas is pretty badass looking, I have to say. I might have to pick this one up since I did not keep my green Father Christmas because I had the red one. So I sold that to somebody who was looking for a Father Christmas for his Christmas dial. So I might have to pick up this Father Christmas next year. It's pretty badass. And then they are releasing 4 different reindeer, all with names. And then they're releasing 5 separate reindeer heads. So you can make the total of 8 reindeer, which are, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. And then I can't read it because my eyes suck, but they're actually got a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. One you can actually buy a 9th reindeer for. They all come with little harnesses and bridles for their heads. All got different colors, and each of the reindeer has a little bit of different shade. They have a darker brown one, a light brown one, and then kind of a mixture of one. So there's actually 4 different reindeer that come with heads, and then you buy the head pack. So you have to buy 8 reindeer essentially, and then the head pack. So, or if you're going to buy 8 reindeer, you just buy 8 reindeer and then paint them up yourself and make them a little different. But then, of course, this is Naughty and Nice, so they have to add in the naughty part of it. So they have some zombified reindeer head, and then Gorgon, the evil goat demon, who would make a perfect ride for Krampus. And they also have saddles that can be purchased separately for these 2 crazy things here. So I believe that is all the news. So I was going to do the history of Santa Claus, and Luke, my co-host, is not here, and he's the one that has all the show notes for that. So how about we do some Christmas trivia? How about that? Everybody down for some Christmas trivia? I'll put up the question. I'll give a couple seconds for the chat to answer, and then I'll tell you who got it right. How's that sound? I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me see. Run through the chat. Did I miss anybody coming in? Everybody kind of just talking to each other. Yeah, those reindeer are going to be awesome. I'm definitely going to pre-order a bunch of those. The way it's looking right now, Fresh Monkey Fiction is going to have my entire paycheck next year between the reindeer and all the Monster Force nonsense. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you, Lawrence. Pre-order Donner and Blitz and bring in the thunder and the lightning. Good call. Let's do it. All right. We ready for some trivia? All right. Question number 1. What was the original name of the 1822 poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas? Nobody knows the answer? All right. The answer to that question is A Visit from St. Nicholas. Oh, look at that. Oz got it. Oz popped it in at the last second there. Who can Google faster? Good call. There's only one of these questions that I actually had to look up. The rest of them I just knew in the stupid brain that I had that remembers stupid facts for no reason at all. All right. Are we ready for number 2? Number 2. Who sang the original version of the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town? If you know the answer, Ray, you just pop it in. No one's going to feel bad. There's no prizes, just the right of bragmanship. Don't know. Oh, Thanos says it was him. And Briscoe says he didn't. Oz didn't Google it either. The original singer for this song is Gene Autry, who did the first version back a long, long time ago. So right now it's Oz 1. The rest of you bastards are 0. Bruce Springsteen. Oh, Lord Fat Red Foo. I'm so disappointed. All right. Frank Baum, sorry. That's the next question. Frank Baum, the author of The Wizard of Oz, what was the title of his book that he wrote about Santa Claus? Anyone? Bueller. Going once, going twice. So, fun fact, the actual book was made into a movie by Rankin and Bass, and the book is called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. Brick and I were just discussing this. He was talking about the movie, and I was like, there's a book. And he's like, I did not know that. The book is actually really, really good. If you're ever looking for an interesting book to read about Santa Claus, talks about how he was a human child and born at the edge of the forest and found by the fairies, and how he ends up becoming his magical self that he is. So The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by Frank L. Baum. Excellent book. I highly recommend it. All right, that was number 3. Number 4. Still 1 Oz, 0 for the rest of you. Don't make Oz, don't let Oz win this. Come on. Yep. That's who it was, Thanos. The song Santa Baby from 1953 was the biggest career hit for which singer? And it's a girl. I'll give you that much of a hint. I'll actually give you another hint. She played Catwoman on the 1966 Batman series. One of the Catwomen. Eartha Kitt. Very good, Oz. Very, very good. Sinterklaas. Yes, Sinterklaas. My brain barely functions. Is that because of the accident or just because in general, Thanos? Julie Newmar. No, but she was the best looking Catwoman there was. Meow. Eartha Kitt. She was only on a very few of the episodes as Catwoman later on in the series, but yeah. What two U.S. states have a town called Santa Claus in them? What's happening, Matthew? Indiana is one of them. You are correct, Carol. But there is a second one. Going once, going twice. The second one is Georgia, which is kind of funny that one of the hottest states, muggiest states in the damn country, has a town called Santa Claus. Yeah, it does show that Oz actually piped in before you, K-Roll, but that just might be because, he's Oz and he can magically make things change. So, all right, we are on number 6. What was the name of the little girl who wrote to the New York Times asking if there really was a Santa Claus? No, Matthew's not the little girl's name. Matthew got it. Virginia. Yes, Virginia. There is a Santa Claus. All right. Come on, Lawrence. Mariah Carey. I know you're just trying to kiss Allison's ass so she doesn't do like any witch hexes on you or something, but come on. It is Virginia. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. All right, number 7. What is the name of the novel that the movie A Christmas Story was taken from, written by Gene Shepard? And Oz, you better know this one. All right, no answer. The correct answer is "In God We Trust. All others must pay cash." The actual whole book is really, really good. So if you guys are ever in the mood for a book that is kind of like it's the whole book is just like the Christmas Story, but it goes into, yes, "In God We Trust. All others must pay cash." That's right. But the whole book is just like a Christmas Story, but it goes into a whole bunch more different past occurrences. And he actually had, I want to say, 2 or 3 more books that were just like that. And all of them really good. If you like listening to stories about like, life back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and stuff. And those are all really good books. So Gene Shepard. I don't think I spelled his name right, but like I said, I was doing these from my crazy brain. All right. Everybody got their typing fingers ready? Matthew, Oz, so you can go into your Google, type fast, and then type it into the chat fast. All right. Here is a question that anybody that's over 30 years old should know. We all know Rankin and Bass for their holiday specials. But who wrote most of the music used in their specials aside from Jules Bass? Maury Laws. So Maury Laws wrote all of the music or most of the music with Jules Bass for almost all of their almost all their Christmas specials and holiday specials, and he did it for some of their other things that they did, like the Cricket on the Hearth and the Hobbit and things like that. So, Alan Menken, that's a good guess. No idea. Oz piped in with Maury, yes. Wasn't it Mr. I.P. Daly? And there she is, the lovely retro toy princess Allison. She brings such sunshine to everybody's life. God, I love her. Didn't know the last name, but he told people they were the father. Yes, that is true. What number are we on? That was number 8. So number 9. Should be an easy one. Christmas is celebrated on December 25th. What day, or days I should say, are actually celebrated as St. Nicholas Day? Yes, I.P. Daly wrote that song. Way up north where the Huskies go, never eat the yellow snow. Led Zeppelin, good guess. Yes, December 6th and December 5th are both considered St. Nicholas Day. December 5th is usually a traditional day that he comes, and then the kids open their presents on the 6th. So December 5th in Western countries, December 19th in Eastern countries. So I guess it also depends on what religion you identify with. All right. Number 10. What year was the book A Christmas Carol originally published in? Bonus points for the day. The 6th is your birthday. That explains you coming, right? Krampus Day is the 6th. Yep. That makes a lot of sense, Fat Red Foo. All right, going once, going twice. December 17th. Oz came in with the date. Yes, 1843. December 17th, 1843. He is considered to be one of the reasons that we celebrate Christmas, some of the traditions that we have today, because of that book, bringing it into a commercial type of holiday. Let's put it that way. What's not according to Google? Yes, December 19th is Eastern religious cultures celebrate St. Nicholas Day on the 19th, and Western Christians celebrate it on December 5th. I said that. All right, the next 2 questions are a little bit tougher. So I will give you guys time to Google. Oh, the book. Yeah. I don't know. On the la, la, la. audiobook that I have, they say December 17th. So I will have to check that out. But that's good to know. It's good to know, Payne. Let's see. Which director won the Golden Globe for the best director for the movie It's a Wonderful Life? Thanks, Oz. Frank Copra. That is correct, Matthew. You were the first one. Oh, man, no clue who directed it. And it's one of my faves. That's kind of why I put that question in here. As I was watching this, what is today? Tuesday. So Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, something like that. Frank Zappa. Yes, Frank Zappa. Howard Hughes. But yeah, I was watching it. I was like, I wonder if the director won anything for this because it's such a great movie, right? So then I looked it up and I was like, that'd be a great trivia question for Tuesday night. Yeah, I'm sure it was, Matthew. Well, you might know it because you're such a movie head. So that it's possible that you probably knew that. So anyway, this is the last question. What Roman holiday held from December 17th to the 23rd of December had a large influence on how Christmas is celebrated today? Damn pagan holidays. Yule? No, Yule is actually a Germanic celebration of from the Vikings. Yes, absolutely. Jimmy was an awesome dude, man. Nope, it's not Yule. Kwanzaa. No, I don't know about Kwanzaa, but Yule is definitely a, uh, a holiday that's been attached to Christmas, but the actual Roman holiday was Saturnalia, which actually had the birth of one of their gods in it from a woman who was impregnated by a god and was, miraculously conceived. So there you go. But yeah, Saturnalia. So that is all the trivia questions. Anybody that wants this just for the shit fun of having it, it's in a PowerPoint file, so I could email it to you. So if you want it, just hit me up on IG. I can mail it out and I'll make a slide for the answers if you want. All right. Let's get rid of this. And let's just talk. What's this? I only know about Kwanzaa because I Googled it the other day. Kwanzaa is too new. Yeah. Well, it's not new, but it's newly celebrated for us in America. So Yule was actually what's Thor's dad's name? Drawing a blank. That was Thor's dad's name. Come on, somebody. Everybody knows Thor's dad from the MCU. Anyway, Yule is the celebration of Thor's dad, Odin. Thank you. Odin flying across the universe hunting the Yuletide. and that's where the Yule comes in. And Yule is associated with Christmas too, due to the Vikings, but it was actually celebrated and attached to Christmas in the Germanic traditions, whereas the Roman traditions are more fostered towards the some of the other things that we celebrate Christmas as, with like the gift giving and things like that. Germany is actually where we get the Christmas tree from too. Germany was the country that brought the tree branch into the house to start the year off new. Allison, I'm not surprised that you know that. Hey, Mr. Wonderful, what's happening? I don't even know when the first day is, so it's I remember I was working at Walmart, I think, when that first started really becoming like a popular thing for the marketing aspect of it, where there's actually putting out things to celebrate Kwanzaa with into retail stores and things like that. Hey, thanks, Todd C. Appreciate that. Good to see you over here. You guys that are just popping in, you just missed some awesome trivia. We did some holiday trivia. My co-host was obviously taken by the Krampus, so I have no idea where he is. Hopefully he's okay, because he's not answering his text either. So anyway, we got time. Anybody want to pop on? I'll send you the link. We can discuss traditions, Christmas, whatever you want to do. Yeah, exactly, Allison. Exactly. Yeah, it was kind of funny because that was right around that beginning of that whole thing that was going around for a while with the PC shit, with the, not saying Merry Christmas, but trying to guess what somebody's, holiday they celebrated was. All right, Oz is going to jump on. Let me get the link and I'll send it right over, Ozzy. Got to find you on my list here. I got too many people. There you are. All right, you should have it, Oz. Todd, see, when I first looked at your message, I couldn't see the whole thing, and it said, I go with Happy Holidays, got some blow. That's all I could see. I was like, wow, that's quite the holidays there. Oh, gotta love StreamYard sometimes. Can't see everything. I only say Merry Christmas because I'm a rebel. I say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever. Whatever actually pops into my head at the time.
What's up?
What's happening, man? Today?
Just getting some fresh hot coffee. Just got done shaving my head.
Oh, and then you went outside?
Yeah.
Catch pneumonia like that.
I got a bandana on. It's okay. It keeps all the heat in.
Cheers to you, brother.
Yes, yes. Cheers. So it's ooh, crazy day today. I was training. I had somebody shadowing me for the day. So I had to be on my best behavior.
Oh man, do you guys have where they can like actually pop into your phone calls type of training, or just listen to what you're saying?
Oh, well, so the way that we do it for a trainee is like over a Zoom call.
Yeah.
So they sit in on a Zoom call and I share my screen and my audio so they can hear everything.
Yep.
But the way it actually works for like the managers and stuff, of course, they can just pop in whenever. You know, that's how they can tell to make sure we're not fucking around on the phones and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like an open invitation Zoom meeting call thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
hey, got 2 hours of overtime out of it, so I ain't gonna be
Hey,
mad.
can't
And I
beat
didn't
that,
have to
right?
work overtime either. They just gave it to me to compensate for the extra work that I'm doing.
So you're actually doing like taking real calls too, and training the person live, right? So
Yep.
OJT,
Yep.
awesome.
Bringing them through, teaching them how it's done, where to look for stuff, how to navigate the different screens.
Do you guys use like actual unique system, or do you get like one of the many that are out there for the medical field?
Honestly, it's my first time working in the medical field, but I know for the hospital and the associated hospitals that I work with, they all use the same system,
Yeah,
but I don't believe it's like proprietary to
yeah,
our hospital system.
yeah.
It's
There's
called the Epic system. So I don't know what other ones use it, but
yeah, I know there's probably like a handful that I'm familiar with of different ones that are used in most of the medical field in the United States anyway.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, because they all got to be set up a similar way, you know.
Yeah.
But that's my first foray into training somebody else how to do this job. And I gotta say, I kind of like that. It allowed me to pace out my day a little bit easier because I could stop between calls and talk to the person about the call, see
Yeah.
if they had any questions. So it was kind of nice. And the fact that it wasn't like a super busy swamp day where our queue was backed up a lot, that was pretty nice too.
I always enjoyed training, especially when you got somebody that wants to learn the job. You know, it always sucks when
Yeah,
you're training somebody and they're they're
it just
just there
doesn't
to get a
care.
paycheck, right? And they
Right.
just want to get on with their day. But you get those people that actually want to learn and they start asking you questions. Sometimes you're like, huh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
I'll have to
yeah,
figure that out why we do this way or whatever, right? Or they
yeah.
pop
The
up with
ones that
questions.
puzzle you.
I worked at the last place I worked at before I left in June for 15 years. And I hired this new guy and I was training him and showing him the ropes and stuff. And he sat down with like the 5 other people that have been doing the job for, quite a while. And he sit down with me and he's like, so why do we do this, this, and this when it could just be done this, this, and this way? I was like, well, because no one ever mentioned that before. It's like,
Right.
you've been here 3 days, huh?
Hey man, sometimes it's that fresh set of eyes that, look at something and be like, well, it's actually easier if we do it this way.
Yep. That's what I
You
always
know,
say, man. Like with my team, it was always, we got together once a week, discuss best practices and,
yep.
things people find. Cause you could be doing a job for 10 years. Right. And like, I was on a conversation, I was on a call today with, Ted from Helidope, and we were just discussing some of the things he wants to do for the YouTube channel and stuff. And I was kind of throwing some ideas out at him and, excuse me. And, I was telling him, when you're knee deep, waist deep, neck deep into the shit, sometimes you don't know that you're in the shit, right? It's like the
Yeah.
people say about the forest for the trees, right? So you
Yeah.
can do something for so many years that you don't even realize that you're not doing it the most efficient way, or sometimes you
It's
don't even
right.
know that it's not good, right? It's just you do it.
Right. It's a routine, it's a habit, it's a pattern that
Yep.
you've learned, and it's easy for you, but maybe not so easy for somebody just coming
Right.
into it where there
Yep.
could be an easier way. Uh,
Exactly.
so, it is good to always see that fresh set of eyes. But they asked a couple of good questions. That was nice. And I was trying to glean some of what I have learned in the past year doing this job that they didn't exactly go over during training. Because I mean, you can't train somebody for every freaking instance that's
No.
going to pop up on the phone. It just doesn't happen.
When I hired people at my last job, that's what I always told them, I was like, I've been doing this for 15 years and I still don't know everything. And
Mhm.
I always related it back to the story. When I first started at the place that I worked at for 15 years, when I first got hired, I was part of the union. And 2 weeks after being hired, they had this huge layoff. And of course, low man on the totem pole in the union, it's all about seniority. I got laid
Yep.
off. And now my job required me to have a 2-year degree in a technical field, which I had. And the person that bumped me took my job that was going to get laid off because she was just a regular customer service person. Had like 6 months to get, or a year, whatever it was, to get certain college courses and things like that. Right. Now, one of the college courses that was required was you had to have physics as part of your thing. Because what I did when I first started was I basically acted like a liaison between sales and engineering. So engineering wasn't taking like some nonsense calls so they could focus on engineering stuff, but it was still above what, we expected a normal like customer service person to do. Right.
Yeah.
So they had however long they had to get a degree. Well, physics was one of them. Well, she'd never been to college, and you don't just get to go into college and take physics. You got to have
Right.
algebra
Got a
1
couple
and algebra 2,
prerequisites
right?
before that.
Yeah. So like I was laid off for about a month, maybe 5 weeks. And they brought me back because she decided that she was going to step out because there was no way she was going to be able to do that. Right.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and the sales manager and marketing manager was one person at the time. His name was Bill. The dude was sharp as a knife. I mean, that guy, you ask him anything, he knew it. He knew about the industry that I was in, knew about everything. And he was like a bumblebee, man. He flew all over that office like, a crazed man. And he'd bring something over to your desk and be like, hey, I need you to do this project. This is what it is. And when I learned after the first couple of times, you just let it sit there and fester on your desk for about half an hour, because he's going to be back with his mind changed on what he really wants from it. So, but that's the type of guy he was, right? I mean, just 100 miles an hour all day long. Started at like 6 in the morning, and he went till 8 o'clock at night. But anyway, he really thought that I had potential, so he wanted to work with me and teach me some things, so I learned them faster than just sitting out on the floor and trying to get training that way, right? So every day in his office, I'd be in his office for an hour and a half, and we'd be doing all this training, deep stuff, right? And at the end of it, that went on for about 2 months, 3 months. And at the end of it, he said, I'm going to give you a test tomorrow, and if you pass the test, then you can be done with my training. Otherwise, you got to come back and keep going. So, all right, whatever. Not that I cared about it, because it was really interesting, deep, good stuff to know, right?
Right.
So I took the test, aced it, no problem. And I was sitting there talking to him, and he's like, yeah, you're good, man. You're all right. And he goes, I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing this industry for about 38 years, and I still don't know everything I need to know. I learn something new almost every day. So don't ever think that you're going to stop learning in this industry, because it's something changes, something's new every day. And I always made sure all the people that work for me there, sometimes it was 8 people, sometimes it was 12. 15, but I always made sure they knew that. Don't think you got to know everything. Just know where to find the answers. That's the trick.
Yep. Always a good thing. Know where your resources are, where you can pull the info.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thanos, that is a big problem where a lot of bosses don't want to know about the things that will improve, even though they tell you all the time that you need to be more efficient. You need to, Lean Six Sigma this, and,
My favorite one is we have an open door policy. It's like, yep, you come in, you air your grievances, and shit don't happen.
Yep.
One of the
That's
cool
why I
things,
left the last place when I was there, because the GM was more interested in pretending the problems didn't exist than actually addressing them.
Right.
I go into his office all the time with problems, and you're like, what should I do? And I tell him what he needed to do. You're like, okay. I'd go back out to my office. 2 weeks later, dude,
shit ain't changed.
This, right?
Yep.
Oh, well, I put so-and-so in charge of that. Well, so-and-so don't know shit. That's the reason we're in the problem to begin with, because so-and-so doesn't know what they're doing. So finally, I was just like, piss on it, right? Been here for
Yeah.
15 years. You don't want to respect my opinion and listen to me.
No
You can
reason
go
to be
sink.
there anymore.
Yeah, you can go sink in the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of one of the cool things while I was working with PayPal. You know, my job may not have been the best job. It was bill collector. Always sucks. You're the bad guy no matter what.
Oh
But
yeah,
at the same point in time, the culture of people that were there were really cool. And Rick, the guy who ran the site, I was there, and I only been there for about 2 months or a month and a half because I got hired in September. It was November. And I used to get there when I first started real early. Because that's what time I could get dropped off without needing to worry
yeah,
about taking 2 buses and a light rail to get there.
right.
So I would get there real early in the morning, and I'd just go up to my desk, fuck around on the computer for a little bit, make coffee, drink coffee, smoke a couple cigarettes.
Yeah,
And one morning, Rick came up to me and he goes, "Hey, Oz, how's everything going?" And like I hadn't said 2 things to the guy since I'd worked there, except for maybe hello the one time he came into our training class and introduced himself. He knew exactly who I was. He knew my background. He asked me, he goes, "So how do you like working here during the holiday as opposed to GameStop?" I told him I was in love with it, man. I was like, shoot, my schedule's off on Friday and Saturdays. And then for Thanksgiving, I was off on Thursday. So I was off the whole fucking weekend of Thanksgiving, really. And I got paid an extra day to do it too, because they
right.
paid you for Black Friday, but I was already off on Black Friday. I got paid anyway. I paid a 6-day work week to take off for a 4-day weekend.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, I
I'll
love
let
this
you
place.
answer this question because I don't want to answer it for you if you don't want to talk about it.
Oh, me from California? Nah, but that is where my mom moved. She moved out to California right around the year I graduated. She moved all the way out there, and she actually moved over to our boy Thanos and Skelly's neck of the woods. So,
Yeah.
but
So
East Coaster.
there is a lot to be said about going from retail to going to a regular job that gives you those weekends off. Because I did retail management for Walmart, and I was a manager at a Walmart store, and I did,
Fuck.
several years as an assistant before that, and
Yeah.
from basically right before Halloween until right after New Year's, your life is there, right? I mean, I
Oh
was
yeah.
working 75, 80-hour weeks all the time,
Mhm.
right? Nonstop.
Yep.
And then I finally left that and I went to where I just worked at, and I couldn't have the days off around Christmas as far as like the extra days because I was low man on the totem pole, and as a union person, even vacation goes to senior people, but or best pick vacation days anyway, right? I got my
Ours were just
vacation, I just couldn't take
blackout. You couldn't take a day off, even if
right.
you had the vacation.
So when I finally moved up in the union, and a lot of people, because like when I got there was women there in the customer service team that had been working at that place as customer service reps longer than I've been on this earth, right? So they knew their stuff, but they were all, crankety old women who were just trying to make it to 62 so they could retire. And when they all retired, I was up there and I had, 4 weeks of vacation. I was taking like 2 weeks off every Christmas. And it was just like, wow, this is such a change from a couple of
Right?
years ago when I was doing 80 hours between, Thanksgiving and Christmas every week.
I gotta tell you, man, that schedule, especially when you got a family that you're working on,
Right. Well, that's it,
uh,
right? It's
it's shit. It's absolute shit. But
it was rough, but it was like the money that I was making afforded my ex-wife to be able to stay home with our little kids, right? And still be able to afford the holidays and everything else. So it was a worthwhile trade-off.
man, I wish mine had been that.
Yeah.
My little fucking measly store manager paycheck from GameStop was not even
Yeah.
close to worth it.
I
But then
mean,
again, running a GameStop was more like running a department than a big
yeah,
box store or Walmart, because like it's like running electronics at Walmart.
my old district manager from Walmart, uh he lives down towards close to the PA border in New York, like central New York, down below like Corning or Rochester, if you're familiar with that area. But he lives
Okay.
down there in that area, and he was a district manager for Walmart. And when Walmart did their whole restructure thing, he left. And as a district manager, when he was doing it, he was making really nice coin, right?
Oh yeah.
And uh, he left that. He left when they did the restructure and went as a district manager for the Dollar General. And his salary basically was like a few G above what a store manager was making at Walmart at the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how GameStop was, right? Small store,
Right.
small,
Smaller store, smaller salary.
yeah,
And the sad part is for the store I was running too, I was making on the higher end of store salaries because my store wasn't like a high volume store, so they didn't pay a whole lot.
yeah,
But I was making more than anybody else would have been running my stores.
right,
But that's because I was in that same store for 8 years. So
yeah. Walmart back in the day, I don't know what their pay is now because I left there many, many years ago, and I am not allowed to go back. But that's a story for another day.
yeah, me either.
Um,
Blacklisted from the company.
yeah, that's a story for another day. But I don't know what their pay structure is now, but back then, for an assistant manager and a store manager, they paid a decent wage for late '90s, early 2000s, let's say.
Well, I will say, last I heard, Ziggy, he was still working for Walmart up until the last couple of years. Store managers can now make up to 6 figures. So I don't know what they were making then, but 6 figures ain't something to laugh at.
No,
Yeah,
no, not at
back
all.
in,
I mean, as a store manager, when I was there, I only did store management for a year, and I
right,
was small store back then. So I think I was,
right.
first year as a store manager, I was making like 90 plus a nice bonus that put me up over 6 figures.
Oh, see, yeah, there you go. And that might be
Yeah.
where that 6 figure deal still comes into
Well,
play
I know
too. It
some
might be
store
that
managers
bonus.
had they had, any time in service, right? Or managing a bigger
Mm,
store, they were making, nice coin. I mean,
yeah, they bigger, bigger
140,
buddy.
you know. I had a co-manager that worked for me when I was a store manager who, um, because he'd been a store manager and stepped down because he had family things to worry about and stuff like that, he became a co-manager and he was making more than I was as a store manager. But he'd been with the company a lot longer and,
Yeah,
had
because
manager
sometimes
levels.
that can happen.
Yep. And I mean, he was,
That's
without him, I would have been lost completely because he knew everything, right? I was like, dude, how do you do this? He's like,
yeah, I've been
oh,
here
cool.
forever. This is how you do
Yep.
that.
Exactly.
Tells you how to do the job that he don't want because
Yep.
he's like, I make enough money where I'm at, and I don't have
Yep.
that
Exactly. I
responsibility.
mean,
You can
I
have it.
couldn't blame him, right? He stepped down, had half the responsibility because as a co-manager back then, you were either the co-manager of the grocery side or the hardline
Right,
side, right? So,
right.
had half the responsibility to worry about and really none of the blame because if anything crashed, it was on me, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
I was on the guy who's above him. Yeah,
lost
it
a
was
little
one
bit
of
of
the
money, but
things.
a lot less responsibility. Hell yeah.
That was one of those things they did to Ziggy. They offered him a department manager job because his department manager was leaving the company, and they offered it to him, and they were like, "We'll give you $1 more an hour." And he was like, "Okay." And they go, "But you're going to first shift." And he's like, "So do I keep my dollar differential for working second shift?" And they were like, "Well, no, because you're not working second shift anymore. You're working first shift.
Yeah.
So you're going to give me more responsibility, but you're going to pay me the same amount." And they go, "No, we're going to give you $1 more an hour." I was like, "No, but you're going to take $1 away." And they just didn't see it like that. And he was like, "No, thanks. I'll just stay where I'm at."
Yeah.
Next, you guys will be crying for that Delta 17 fix, man. Those figures are nice.
I was talking when I was talking to Ted today. I said, "Man, you got to get a hold of Ken and see if you can get Delta 17 to sell because I think hella dope. One of the things that keeps them from really, really blowing up, let's say, right? Really, I mean, they're pretty big now compared to where they were a year ago.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
massive
I think
changes.
I think the biggest stall that they have, or whatever you want to call it, right? As far as like growing outward, right? Instead of just up, is they only really carry the one scale, right? They carry 1/12 scale. And all of us that
Right.
are customers and in the community are all customers and in the community, you know? I was like, man, we should see if we can get Ken with you guys and see if you can get into the 1/18th. Because if you get into 1/18th, you might be able to expand your customer base.
It's true. It's true. Get some more eyes
Yeah,
on the
get a
store,
different,
more product in.
yeah, different community started and everything else, right? Or expand the community.
Yeah. I know right now they're still working on I mean, Steve's just going on a vacation right now, finally, that all of this is with. And when he gets back rolling into the new year, they're gonna have the rest of their site set up where you can order direct. But I mean, it would be ideal for them to be able to get into stores like BBTS and Helidope
Yeah.
and other online, the fan channels and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying with Ted, right? It's like, I know Ken and Steve the other night, Saturday, were talking about like some of the struggles getting it into the States and things like that right now. Not a big struggle, but like if you were selling it from a US based
Right. A
retailer,
distributor.
right? You just ship one shipment and then you're good, right? You just do one
Right.
shipment and let them worry about it.
Yep. But I gotta tell you though, man, I'm excited about that line. I'm not even an O-ring guy,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I know. I'm not an O-ring guy either, man. But what they were showing the other night, I definitely want. Is it Leonidas that comes with the dog?
yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah.
hard when I was looking at the different figures and all like that. It was hard for me to pick. Like it was either going to be him or Shepherd, but I wanted to see like the different details with the pack.
Yeah.
And there was just more involved with the pack for the two that I did than what Leo had. But I like that the dog rests on the pack. And then
Yeah.
there's a place for a bowl. I'm like, that's great.
Yep.
Because we used to get those packs for old GI Joe figures, and it was just aesthetics. Every once in a while, one of them would serve a purpose. But gotta say, I do love this new military line. I'll definitely be ordering more of it soon, once can, because I want to help support them. I definitely want to see more from this line, and really, really neat seeing what they're working on and knowing what's kind of coming down the pipeline from it too, because they got some really cool ideas they're working on. So it's always fun to get those little
that's the thing, right?
inside
Like if they
peeks.
can get Delta 17 and maybe the what are the other ones? Broken
But you
Arrow
got
or
like
whatever
what
that's
call
called.
sign longbow.
Yeah, call sign Lambo.
You got the Legends of the Hidden Forest, which is the like all ninja
Oh,
line,
yep.
which I could see that pairing well with Delta 17, especially since
Yep.
they got those little kami ninjas, the little robotic ones.
I really wish, like Fresh Monkey Fiction wasn't exclusive to BBTS because
I know,
something like Monster Force or even their Eagle Force line,
right?
somebody like Hella Dope, a small person, or even like Nerd Zoic, which is a small company still essentially, right? They
Yeah,
could really blow up, um, with a line like that, right? They're
yeah.
carrying the same things that everybody else carries, right? That's one of the reasons that people go to BBTS is just
Well, because
because
they
of
know it's a little bit more secure. You got more
right. They
faith
know
in it.
BBTS, and you can go to BBTS and order something completely random from the overseas company like Memory Toys, which they only have a few U.S. distributors, and you
Yep.
can pick up your Power Rangers or GI Joe at the same place.
Right. Yeah. One stop shop.
Yep.
But we got our friends within the community that we like to support, and it's like we got to get them the toys that we want to buy. But
Yeah.
I'd mentioned to Ken months ago, like even right after PowerCon, I was like, man, when you guys get Delta 17 rolling, you need to talk to Helidope, see about having
Yeah.
that. But at that time, they weren't at the point where they're at now. There's
Yep.
actually a physical product. So
Yeah. Right.
now it's like, hey guys, you gotta come over to Helidope, do business.
So maybe we should bring it back up to Ken again now that they have product in stock and stuff. I mean, even if they worked out some deal to try to move a couple of cases just to see if they can, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Right. Just to stock a couple and see what the interest is and
right,
see
yeah.
what they could do.
Because the problem is that one of the problems is right now is that like Aaron said it on his stream, he'll order like he'll do a pre-order to see if there's any interest. and if he gets any interest, he orders it. But that might be, for let's say a line that has 3 characters in it, and he gets interest for 2, but nobody gives a shit about the third one. Then they're stuck with it. Or
Right.
you have to order a case of 12, but you only got 3 pre-orders. It's like,
Well, that's why they need the third Helidope warehouse, Ed's basement.
that's right. Will be. They're going to be doing some of the Eagle Force in 1/12 scale soon, Ray.
Yeah.
It's coming this coming year.
Yep. Which is one of the nice
love
things.
the Eagle Force, and Eagle Island was my favorite thing. Drive that.
Yeah.
Jeep,
I
Eagle
like
Force
that
Jeep.
some of these other lines are finally bringing more into scale with other lines, right?
Yes. Yep.
Because there's some cool toys from a couple of different companies out there where it's like, man, I just wish like the Vitruvian Hex from like Boss Fight, right?
Yeah.
That Red Sonja is now in scale with like Mythic Legions, whereas before they were all like 4-inch figures. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before it was all like 4-inch stuff. So it's like, man, they look cool, but they don't scale with everything else.
Basically, that's what Fresh Monkey Fiction is doing with Eagle Force. A lot of the characters that are in Eagle Force are just getting upscaled to 1/12 scale so they can sell them in 1/12 scale too. So it's like, great idea, right? That way you can have 2 sides. I mean, a lot of people only collect 1 scale. I collect pretty much every scale. I have more different scales going on than I can even figure out. So
I'm a little all over the place as it is right now, right? Because I'm collecting Origins, and it's your 5.5 inch to 6, almost 6-inch line.
Yeah.
And then you got your Mythic Legions, which is the 6, a little close to 7-inch, and then they've got their different scales within, so that a troll is a troll compared to a regular figure.
Right.
And then I got my Masterverse, which is more that 7-inch scale, and now I'm doing 3 3/4 with the Delta 17 and getting into that. But then I just picked up some of them Black Series, which is again that's 6-inch. So
yeah,
it's like it's a little all over the place, but that's okay because they don't all need to intermix.
Yeah, like I got mostly 1/12 scale now. I have a ton of 1/6 scale in storage, and then I have some that I keep out and pick up little things randomly here and there. I have a Super Joe, which I guess would be like 1/9 scale, and then I have the McFarlane, and I have Mattel DC Batman.
When you
66.
say McFarlane, you're pretty much collecting all scales. If you collect McFarlane,
right.
He's got no idea what the fuck he wants.
I saw those. Oh man, McFarlane's just announced those the new Adventures of Batman figures today.
Oh yeah,
like tell me 5 cartoon or whatever it was,
right? And they're looking sharp,
cartoon.
Man.
Batmite and Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
that
get all
Joker looks fucking chef's kiss, man, because you've got the right green highlight in the hair.
Yep.
Oh man, God, it was so good seeing those. And they don't look all dopey and cell shaded like he's putting out for the animated series ones now.
Yeah. Those ones that he released that Lawrence was showing on his show last night, the Wave 2 of the animated series, like some of that cell shading doesn't even make sense, right? It's like it's just a blob. It's like, did he lay down in some oil or what happened to his uniform here? Because
he's supposed to look like there's a shadow here, and I'm like, but it doesn't make sense with anything else on his costume.
Right, exactly. It's just a blob of darker paint there. That doesn't make any sense. Like
I think some of them are looking all right. They're not as bad as some of the ones that were in that first wave.
No,
but then others are looking real bad.
I mean, the cell shading doesn't bother me. It's just like if you look at the way Marvel Legends has done some of the cell shading,
right?
It actually looks like a cartoon cell shade, right? Whereas McFarlane is just kind of like, let's slap some paint on it, right?
Yeah, let's just put it wherever. Whereas, the Legends ones look almost like they were looking at a specific cell from the show and colored it in like that. The only problem is it gives you forced shading, right? So, depending on how, especially if you're doing the photography, if you have your lights set up a certain way, the cell shading may not make sense with the way the lights are on it.
Yeah,
and that's what bugs me about it.
Yeah, and
some of the figures are really nice looking.
You can remove it, I guess. Little.
You can. You got to be careful not to remove too much.
Yeah. I collect all the scales. I just picked up some Eagle Force, over the summer, shortly after PowerCon, just to see what
Yeah.
they were about. And man, I love them. It's like after handling and posing the 12 scale, going down to 118 scale is really a big difference and a bigger than I remember.
Right. Right.
So,
I gotta say, I really like with them coming out with that Monster Force. That
oh,
one,
for sure.
that's a kick-ass line right there. I'm digging that.
Yeah, dude, I totally got plans for doing some of those because like some of those evil troopers in the Monster Force are more
Hmm.
Road Warrior esque
Oh yeah,
than
yeah.
so I have plans to take my Vamp when I get it and make it into a little bit more of a Road Warrior style vehicle.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll
I
be
was
really cool.
with my Dodge Challenger from Robin Toy, but I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $200 and ruin, not ruin it, but modify
Right,
it
right.
as opposed
Modify it and
to
do more.
do a Vamp for $100 and modify it. So, but I'm excited because I'm going to get the Dodge Challenger and get it set up just like the General Lee with all the stickers. And then he's got the bread van coming out. So I'm going to have that done with the A team.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
yeah.
have a nice shelf of 80s vehicles and make some custom figures.
Now we
Whatever
just need
ones
him
I
to get a
can't do, I might hit up
DeLorean up
Tony
there.
Romo and see if he can make them for me.
There you go. Yeah, we got to see if we get a DeLorean up there for sure.
Well, they had that DeLorean that came out, but yeah, that thing was expensive. And I don't think I might not have figures. That one from Tommy that was like remote control or whatever.
Yeah.
Rama Toys is showing that off.
I'll have to go back and check that out. I didn't actually catch Brick this weekend. I got kind of a little burnt out on the YouTubes on Sunday.
Yeah,
And
I don't really do much YouTube on Sundays usually. Well, you and I usually
aside,
get off at like 5 a.m. our time.
yeah, by the time we're finally rolling to bed, like the first show's starting on Sunday.
So I sleep till about, sometimes I sleep 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. I get up, have my coffee. I just try to stay off the YouTube for a little while. Once in a while, I'll catch Allison's show right then. And I might catch Will's show once in a while, one of those two. And then I don't do
Right.
anything until hella dope, right? Usually when the weather's nice, I'm out in the woods on Sunday. So
Yeah, trying to do something
Yep.
else.
Yeah, so I'll definitely have to check out Brick. So
Yeah, normally I'll start to catch up on stuff like Monday and today, but
yeah,
with the holidays coming up, just other stuff doing around the house that
man,
that
it
kind of
just
falls
seems
to the wayside.
like usually, like I'm a huge, I love Christmas, right? Always have
Oh
since I
yeah,
was, a kid, right? And now, in my old man opinion, I don't think Christmas is, and this isn't a personal view. This is like a society view. I don't think Christmas is as magical as it used to be. Part of it, I think, is just because the shit starts showing up in the stores before Halloween, which kind of ruins it, right? And
a little bit.
they just like the radio stations that play Christmas music start like November 1st now, as opposed
Yeah,
to like like you want to start the weekend before Thanksgiving. I'm good with that, right? That's about the
right.
right
Yeah.
time to start, but November 1st is too early. And I've told the story before. I remember going to the local department store back in the day, which was Ames, right? That was our
Oh
local
yeah,
department store. And before that, it was like Big N or something crazy like that, right? Totally defunct, non-existent now, right? But I remember going to that store like, maybe with my mom a day or two before Thanksgiving to get, some paper cups or plastic cups or, something like that, right? Something she needed for Thanksgiving dinner, right? And then my dad would take me and my brother there like maybe Saturday after Thanksgiving, not Black Friday. We never went to the store on Black Friday. That was a no-go. That was my mom's
right.
day. She went with her sisters and dad stayed home with us.
Yeah,
But the day after, like Saturday or Sunday, we always went to get, wrapping paper for mom's present or whatever, right? That's when my dad always shopped for mom's present. And it was always so fun because me and my brother were like, you walk in 2 days before Thanksgiving and it's just a store. And you walk in 2 days after Thanksgiving and it's a winter wonderland, it's all
right. Yeah, it
Christmas
all
out and everything else. And it's
transforms.
just like, Oh, so wonderful back then. It was like,
It also just used to feel like this time of the year lasted longer, right?
yes, yes.
Like to me, it feels like we just had September. Like I feel like Halloween hadn't even been here properly yet. And here we are a week out from Christmas. So it goes by too quick these days. It doesn't feel like there's any buildup and then it's here and then it's done with and then it's like, yep, next year. But for me it was
Yeah.
like it used to feel like, man, there was this long spooky build up to Halloween and then
Yep.
that lasted a while and you were in that mood and then
Well,
things switched gears.
I also think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when we were kids, right, before the whole streaming thing, right, when you planned it out, right? So
Oh
Thanksgiving,
yeah.
right before Thanksgiving, you got the Sears Wish book and you got the Toys R
Oh
Us
yeah.
catalog and the J.C. Penney book and all those, right? And you'd sit down with your siblings or your buddies, right? And you just go through the book, the toy section or whatever, right? Circle all the
Mhm.
shit you wanted and all that
Mhm.
stuff. And then you look at the TV guide, right? And it's like, okay, I know Rudolph's going to be on Channel 7 on, this night, and even with the Halloween specials, right? Or
Oh
Thanksgiving
yeah.
Charlie Brown, right? I know it's going to be on, I mean, like the last couple of years, I think Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving's been on Thanksgiving night. It's like, what about a little bit before that, right? So people
Right.
can,
You're supposed to watch it
you know,
to lead up to it.
yeah, build up and get excitement for it, right? Same with like Halloween specials. I mean,
Yeah.
all these channels show all sorts of horror and blood and guts stuff, but
Well, that
the
was the
ones
other
that are,
thing too. The shows, like the regular weekly shows, had specials. Like they
yep,
had themed
exactly that
episodes.
too, right? Yep,
Now you just don't see them anymore. Like a
yeah.
regular weekly show doesn't have necessarily a Halloween
You're probably
episode.
like me. I haven't watched a regular television show, and I couldn't tell you how long. Probably at
No.
least 5, 6 years.
Yeah, with all the streaming services, it
Yep.
just doesn't matter.
Yeah. So real quick, Ray. Yeah, we know Brick's channel. It's a great channel.
Oh
Oz and
yeah.
I have both been on it, and Brick's one of our good buds. Just
Yeah.
missed it this past Sunday.
Yeah. It's a rare thing that I miss Brick. I'll
Yeah.
typically watch Adam, highly
Well, I usually miss
articulated,
Brick
and
on
then watch
Sunday because
Brick.
that's usually my nap time before I get on Helidope. But I usually check out Brick Monday morning with my coffee, but I haven't this
Yeah.
week yet. It's just too much shit going on.
I agree with Ray, though. I saw that comment there where Halloween starts in summer. That's right. As soon as July 4th comes down, Halloween starts for me. At
Yeah.
least that's the way I used to be. Last couple of years, not so much. But yeah, I start decorating for Halloween early.
Well, to go back to this comment by Fat Red Foo, I've made this comment before, but there's actually a scientific reason that life seems to go by faster when you get older. If you want to keep yourself feeling like time goes slower, you need to experience new things every day, new books, new
Yep.
adventures, new experiences. Because what happens is that the way your brain stores memories is that you, as an old dude, have already experienced everything already. So your brain doesn't put any new adventures in there. That's why when you're a
All
kid,
right.
everything's new. So your brain is constantly refreshing those memories and putting yesterday's memories into the far
Well,
away file. Whereas
yep.
today, it's just like nothing gets put there. So you want to make your
That's
life
right.
seem to go slower, experience new things every day. Scientifically
True.
proven.
Yep. As you have experienced more and more time, it tends to go faster and faster
Yep.
because you've experienced more and more of it. So what seemed like when you were a kid, a year used to feel like it'd take forever. Now it's like, fuck,
Yeah,
year
right. I
goes
mean,
by in
like
a blink.
I remember my birthday. My birthday's at the end of January, and my older brother, his birthday's in March, and then my sister's, who's younger than me, is in April. So it was like Christmas, then our 3 birthdays, right? And when you're a kid, your brother's birthday is just as exciting as yours, right? And that's just how it is when you're a kid, or your
Yeah,
sisters, whoever, right? And so I remember as a kid, it's always bam, 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 and then like that stretch from like March, April, when my sister's birthday was, you had the Easter fall in there, but then you had from Easter to like 4th of July before anything really exciting was going to happen, because 4th of
right.
July, you got to see the fireworks. And then from 4th of July, everything seemed to go fast when you were a kid because you knew school was impending, right?
Yeah.
from that point. But then you started school, and it seemed like forever from school start to Halloween, and then from Halloween
Mhm.
to Christmas was forever. Now it's like, oh, it's Easter. Well, time to put up the Christmas decorations.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you gotta just enjoy each moment there is.
Yep,
Yep. Christmas
that's just
reset
it,
was
right?
done right before October. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
Yeah, I try to, have some kind of new experience every day, or at least try to, like that's what I do. Like when I build a lot of dials, right? Just like not even full dials, just pieces, because it's like just to try and experiment with different shit, right? Makes things better.
Just imagine how that cabin that you built's going to look now because you got a nice grandfather clock in there from the
I
Red
know.
Death.
I
And
got to
then you're
get
going to have
some.
like these safes and this toolbox and
I
stuff
know.
like that sitting
I
around.
got
It's
to get
good
that damn
prop
Bob
stuff,
Marley open.
right?
I love calling him Bob Marley.
Right? That's why they need pipes.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I almost broke out the sculpting clay to see if I can make a couple pipes for Father Christmas, because he
Yeah,
definitely needs like I would like Father Christmas to have like a Gandalf pipe, right?
right. Like one of them
Not just a
long
short pipe,
stem
not a Santa
ones.
Claus pipe. I want him to have a
Right.
Gandalf
He
pipe.
needs to have a long stem pipe.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. He needs a long stem.
So I'm thinking I found some not really stiff wire, but like
Hmm.
some the wire most of the sculptors use when they're building like statues out of clay, right? That kind of,
You're
they
right.
make the wire cage for it. So I have some of that. I'm going to try probably maybe this week, make a couple of pipes just to see if they work.
Yeah, yeah. See if you can make them around and then make like a little bowl at the end, just big enough. Maybe it could fit like a little LED in there or something.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome, right?
Right. But Bud
um.
had some good ideas about like,
Oh,
putting like a
that's
little weight on some cotton and
yeah.
dipping it down into the end so it looks like there's
Yeah.
smoke coming out the end.
Yeah,
That
the
was pretty
problem is
cool.
1/12 scale. It's pretty friggin' small, right? I
It
mean,
is. Yeah,
I
it's a little
I
tough.
have a couple pipes in 1/6 scale, and it would be hard pressed to get an LED into that, let alone a 1/12 scale one. I mean, they make
Right.
micro LEDs, you could do it, but the wire and everything else would be kind of a trick. My biggest
True.
concern is like I only have flesh colored clay right now. I'd like to get
Right.
some, maybe like a dark brown, like a burnt umber color clay, and then I can just do a little bit of a highlight of black on it, and it would look fine. Give it that knurled wood look. Because
Yeah.
if I take the flesh color one and paint it, chances are putting it in and out of Santa Claus's hand is going to take the
Yeah,
paint
you're
off.
gonna get the paint rub even if you put
Yep.
some kind of finish on it.
Oh yeah, you can't stop it no matter what. Not when you're putting it into a tight grip hand like that. So
Hmm. Yeah, but
yeah.
that'd be a hot look for Father Christmas. He deserves
Oh,
a nice
for
one.
sure. Well, that's the nice thing about like the naughty and nice ones that Fresh Monkey Fiction's doing. They're actually coming with pipes. Now they're
Yeah, yeah, they got like the little short
yeah,
stem with the fat
yep,
bowl.
yep.
That's I was looking at those, and that's what got the idea because it was when I started looking at the reindeer for the next wave, and
Oh
I
man,
came across one of the Santas, and I was like, oh shit, I need a pipe. But
I need to go into my BBTS pre-orders and see how much money I got invested next year in just Monster Force, let alone. Now, luckily, some of those Monster Force guys aren't due out to 2025, but
yeah,
then I'll see how much I can afford, because like there's a couple of the Santa Clauses that came out this year that I'm hoping to pick up after Christmas.
right. And we
But
also got to look at the fact too that just because it says it'll come out in 2025 doesn't mean it.
right,
Looking
exactly.
at you, Headless Horseman and Father Christmas, supposed to be first
Now,
quarter 2024.
now, Fresh Monkey Fiction's usually behind, not
Hmm.
not ahead of the game. So,
Yeah,
I mean, they just got the Naughty and Nice to BBTS like right before Christmas, so
yeah,
before the
small
the
blessings.
shipping dates are cut off. So
Definitely small blessings there because there's just, there's so much good stuff coming out aimed at us. And we're all perfectly programmed from our 80s living that it's just like, man, I want to get it. I want to get it. But,
oh yeah,
the realization you can't have it all. So just pick the stuff that means the most to you and go for it.
yeah. Well, that's just it, right? Like I totally like the whole Monster Force thing. And, I have my issues with the Valiver stuff. I have my issues with Hasbro's G.I. Joe stuff, right?
Yep.
Is Monster Force going to have issues? Probably. They probably
Of
will, right? It's
course.
their first jump into, a true 1/12 scale, highly articulated figure,
Yep.
It could have some issues, but it's a new concept. And like, I totally dig the whole monster thing. And, like I said, like some of them look really Road Warrior, esque. And it's just like, that's my jam right there. Right. I mean, the G.I. Joe thing, they're characters that I loved as a kid, but G.I. Joe came out when I was 10. So I mean, it was like I was more into the cartoons and the figures. I had a lot of the figures because I never stopped collecting toys, but
Right.
like physically playing with them, where I grew the attachment that like, a lot of guys have for him, like Lawrence. He was a couple years younger than me, right? That was like prime time for him. 7, 8
Yeah.
years old, right?
It's like me with He-Man right now, right? Like with all the He-Man stuff and Origins that came out, like I love it. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it brought me back into collecting. But over the last year, I've had this massive shift towards, well, distribution issues aside, like just what's really calling to me lately is the Mythic Legions.
Yeah, for
Mythic,
sure.
Cosmic, and everything that the Four Horsemen are doing. And I just feel like there's more value there for what my money and effort. Because the way I look at it, money is just more than money for me, right? That's my time. That's my
Right.
hard-earned time all
Yep.
day. And with the price of a figure, right? Like I'm almost paying $20 per figure for Masters Universe now. And some of them can be even pricier than that. Like if it's a
Like
specific release
Boss
on Mattel
Man.
Creations, that could be like $30 or $40. Well, if I'm spending
Yep.
that much on a 5.5-inch figure, why wouldn't I spend that same amount on like a full 6-inch figure with all the
Yeah.
paint apps and everything that we get with what the Four Horsemen give us? I'm just getting more
Mhm.
value for my buck right there, you know. And I don't have to deal with all the hassle like what I got to deal with trying to find this version of this figure or
Yeah.
make sure
The
that
nice,
this doesn't sell out in a few minutes.
other than the Monster Force, I have a couple of um Valiverse figures that he announced last year that I really want, just because I want to check them out, right? Like that bigger buck that he's supposed to be making is coming out. And then for Joe, I got the 2 Dreadnoks coming, and I got to get Torch, because Torch was one of the Dreadnoks that I really, really liked as a kid. And then I got
Yeah.
Mutt Junkyard because he was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to get a lot of Joes, not going to get a lot of Valiverse. Totally going all in on Monster Force. Then I'll probably pick up, I might pick up Joe's or Valiverse to make the A team, or the Duke boys with. But I mean, they
Yeah.
won't be Joe's or Valiverse figures when I'm done with them. But other
Well,
than
and we,
that, like I'm looking at all the Mythic Legions dudes that are coming out, some of the Cosmics. I'm not all in on Cosmics.
yeah,
I like the designs of them, but some of the aliens just don't groove with my head. And
for
then,
sure. Yeah.
but man, I look at like some of the stuff like Memory Toys with some of the bears are putting out, like that Panda Brothers
Oh my
set,
God, the
and
War Bears. Oh,
they got what was that other one? There was another one that came out with some kind of bear that was out there too, and I was like, damn.
yeah. You got a lot of stuff coming from Zezray Studios too.
Oh, Zezray too, right? They have, and then
Again,
you
a
got the
little bit more
rhinos
on the
and the
pricier
minotaurs.
side, but man,
Yeah,
they are just killing it.
yeah. Then you got those ogres that Brick and Thanos got, right? It's like,
Oh
and
yeah,
those
the
go right
orcs.
along. Those can go right into your Mythic Legions display, right? And it's like,
They're a little
damn,
bigger and a little beefier, but hey, some orcs are just bigger than others, right? The premium DNA stuff, those guys are killing it with
yeah.
a lot of really cool brands, like all their Battletoads stuff and all like they were doing that they had at PowerCon.
Those Battletoads they had at PowerCon were amazing looking. I mean,
Right?
absolutely amazing looking.
Right? And what they're doing with Mars attacks, heck
Yep.
yeah, man. Some good old Tim Burton goodness there.
Yeah. The
And
problem I'm having, and like same with you, Oz, right? It's like at some point you just have to decide, okay, these are the lines that I'm going to collect, and
I
everything else I'm just going to look at in the peripheral, and try to avoid it as much as possible, right?
Right.
Because
Try
it's
not to
like,
fall into another line.
yeah, because it's just too much. I mean, there are
Yes.
so many companies just blasting stuff at us, and then I haven't told anybody this yet, but I'll just spit it out right here. I have a buddy who is looking at starting an action figure line who I'm probably going to be helping get that taken care of for him. And that's in
Okay.
1/12 scale too.
Yeah. That'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. It's going to fall into the sword and sorcery realm. So,
See, it's funny. That's what I was like working on, like right before I started getting bigger into doing my channel and stuff like that. I was working with a buddy, and we were planning out a toy line, right? And we were trying to come up with some stuff. And ow, headlights flashing me in the eyes.
I was going to say, that's a pretty bright lighter you got there, Oz.
That was my uncle getting in the car and pulling it out of the driveway. And
I have
shining
to
right in my
just.
face.
So today I was on the phone with Ted from Hella Dope, and we were talking about a bunch of different things, right? But I made the comment just goofing around. I said, "So how much stock in your company does Travis own?" And he's like, "I don't know. Travis is our biggest customer, but him and Payne go back and forth." I was like, "Yeah, you guys don't even need any other customers." I said, "Travis sends me pictures all the time about what he's ordered, and it's just like, oh my god!" And here he is. I collect Valiverse, Joe Savage, Ewok, WWE Ultimates, Plunderlings, Gargos, Legends, Black Series, Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, and thinking about NECA Turtles too.
Right? Why not?
I love you, Travis.
Put it out there, man. At least somebody's got money to collect it all,
That's
right?
right.
I
Yeah,
know.
the Mofex Rabbit Hole's another one. I got the Batman Hush figure
Ooh,
coming.
that is definitely.
Those are paid for. So I mean,
There's been like that Mofex Scarlet Spider that came out.
yeah,
What was that last year? Oh man, it's so good. Way better than anything Legends has put out.
yeah. My buddy got the Mofex Nightwing.
Oh
Gorgeous figure.
man.
That's got it. That was probably like the coolest figure I played with last year. I mean, as far as posability and stuff.
To me, they're right on almost that same level with Hot Toys at a bit of a cheaper price.
Yeah.
Not by much, but enough that it makes it more reasonable, right? But it's still one of those ranges, like the Mondo stuff, man. I love Mondo stuff, but just I can't afford it, and there's just it's a lot. But I gotta tell you, man, when it comes to those lines, freaking Hot Toys, Mondo, if you got the money for it, you are buying the premium of action figures.
Yeah.
Power to
I
you.
don't. What the hell is Thanos talking about? That's my flavor.
It must have been something we were talking about earlier. Yeah, you just probably the 5K stuff and the orcs and all like that
Oh,
we were
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, it's some really good, solid stuff.
There's lots of love out there for 1/18 scale.
Oh, for sure.
Especially coming this year. All sorts of stuff.
Got a lot of stuff coming to the 1/18 scale, which is great, man. Which is great. I'm glad that there's a little bit out there for everybody, no matter what scale you're into. And I mean, I know a lot of people like the 1/18 because that's where you can get more into the. That's where you can get into more of your play sets and vehicles and everything else. So
That's that right here. What Travis is saying too, man.
1,200 Savage Crucibles.
Yeah, those Savage Crucible figures they've been showing the last couple of days on IG. Holy shit balls, those look good.
Man, I got to tell you.
Damn.
So Nikki Nicole Customs did the paint apps for those, for the, all the paint masters they sent back. And she is very well known from a lot of the custom figs she does within the Mythic Legions community.
Yep.
And man, like they are following her paint apps to a T on those products that are coming back. Those samples that they're getting that they're showing off, man, just killing it. And I love how like there's all kinds of crazy just little things from all kinds of different little niches with the with what they got going on with Savage Crucible, and it's great. I did pick up the comic while we were at PowerCon, and
Oh, did
it's a
you?
pretty cool story.
I didn't see the
So
comic when I was there. Huh.
yeah, they had it on the table. I'll try to.
Yeah, that's where I got that Monster Force one from because they had it right on the table up there. I didn't see this the Savage Crucible one.
I'll
So
try to see if I can
I
scan the
was
pages. I'll send it to you.
yeah. I was trying to avoid that area as much as possible because they had that cool display with like the moving thing in the background of that one
Uh-huh.
figure and all that stuff. And I was just like, if I see these and really study them, right? It was like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had seen so much. I mean, there was so much cool stuff to see at PowerCon. I mean, just amazing cool stuff, right? On top of the stuff we already knew that was going to be there. It was like just
Right?
mind blown.
Yeah, finally getting to see a closer look at the armies of Ashmore and Defenders of Eden.
Yeah. And
Dude, Matt
Ramen Boy had
Rodriguez is going to
his
kill
Dodge
it.
Challengers there, and
And the
Monster Force was there.
prototypes. Just so much good. Like, honestly, I kind of snubbed and ignored NECA and
Yep.
uh, Super 7. Because
I
the only thing
stopped
that
by
Super
with
7,
Lawrence to see the Cat's Lair,
yep,
and I walked through the
that's all I
NECA
really cared
because
about.
I wanted to see the Flash Gordon stuff because I am interested in getting
Yeah,
that from the '80s movie because they had the Flash Ming and the
yeah,
Hawkman, Vulcan. Like
right.
Vultan
But
was my
like,
favorite character, you know. So it was like I saw those guys, but then I skipped out of everything else from there.
but everything else they're putting out, it's kind of just like, yeah, okay. Like you're
Yeah,
showing off a lot of turtle stuff again. That's cool. Like if they were showing off maybe more Alien and Predator, but like they've done the Alien and Predator lines
yeah.
to death at this point. There's not a whole lot they can do without any new
That
media.
Monsterizer though, that they put out
Oh,
that's like the
for the
Remco.
Universals. Oh man,
I had the Remco Monsterizer as a kid, and that
yeah,
thing is just so
oh,
that's nostalgia like damn. Because I remember I had
yeah,
all of the Remco monsters, and then I had the small ones too, and then I had the Monsterizer, and it was just like, damn, that thing's awesome.
and
So I
do you
think that
remember?
Thanos was saying Sword and Sorcery is his flavor when I talked about
Oh yeah,
the action figure line that I'm going to be.
you know that's our wheelhouse, right?
That's right.
Sword and sorcery. That's where we will. That's where it all starts, but then it stretches and goes off into weird places. And I blame Masters Universe for that, but
Yeah, I got the Indy from Mezco on pre-order too, Ray.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
you got
1/18
to.
scale is going to be blowing up this year. So anybody that's a 1/18 scale person, you're going to see as we had the renaissance
Really.
of the toys, we're going to have the renaissance of 1/18 scale.
Hmm. Even that Cyberzoic, man. Like I've had my eyes on them for a while. One of the first things that caught my eye to Creative Beast Studios for their beasts of the Mesozoic, which is like their regular just dinosaur line,
Yeah.
they did an homage to Bionatops with their box art for their Triceratops like 2, 3 years back. And Bionatops was one of those rare dinosaurs from the Masters Universe line. So like that caught my eye and I started looking at stuff they were doing and they were just starting to prototype a lot of the early Cyberzoic stuff. And like Brick and I at the time were like the only people that had eyes on it. And we'd been talking about it and then we started looking at
Yeah, you and Brick
the
talking about it is where I
dragon.
first heard about it. So I was like,
Yeah. So getting a chance to have met those guys at PowerCon and then
yeah, good
now
call,
seeing
Thanos.
like
Thank you
more
for
of
that
their
reminder.
finalized products.
Yeah.
Man, so much good stuff on the horizon for no matter what you're into, there's something coming out that you know it will whet your palate. You know,
Yeah.
we're
So
in a
hold
good time, friends. We're in a good time for collecting.
on. Mr. Wonderful, change my address for the thing you already know about. So the move next month. By the way, before you showed up, because you were probably sleeping it off or actually trying to get your ass to do some work since you've been lazy for the last 2 weeks.
Travis doesn't know how to be lazy. What are you talking about?
He was sick, so he's been lazy.
Oh,
He's been
okay. Well,
getting his
that explains
ass
it.
kicked for the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks. But I gave you a shout out. I wanted to say thank you, brother. Appreciate everything you've done, being a great friend, awesome dude. Thank you for everything this year, man.
That's what we're all here for, right? World's
Yep.
tough enough. So we all got to pick each other up when we're feeling a bit down and carrying that torch and just reminding each other that we're not alone out here, you know?
Hey,
Uh,
did you watch Lawrence's show last night?
I was catching parts of it this morning because I fell asleep kind of early last night.
Yeah,
Need
he
to
gave
catch
you
a
a
lot
nice
on the
shout out
replay.
about, your what does he call it? Thursday with a friend. I should know it since I'm a moderator on his channel, but
Right?
God, I got so much stuff I'm going on now.
That's what happens when you
Um,
get popular across ToyTube and you start popping up
yeah,
on everybody's
it
channels.
was a good shout out for you, right? And you deserve it, man. I mean, like, honestly, we have a great community that I think a lot of us have helped build.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of a subset of that community, let's say, you got your community, but we have this nice little neighborhood that's built around basically what you've built in your Saturday night clubhouse neighborhood, right? And it's awesome. It's like,
Well,
I mean,
it's
I saw Thanos on Instagram, and I've seen Brick on Instagram and all those guys, and seen them pop in here and there. But I mean, like, I probably wouldn't really have ever talked to Thanos because at that time he was more into Masters of the Universe. I was doing, Valiverse and Joe stuff, right? So it's like, just different genres. And now, shit, I love Thanos. Him and I talk all the time, comment on each other's pictures or whatever, and hang out every
right.
Saturday night with you
Yeah, man. Well, I mean,
till
that's what
God
it's all
knows when in the
about.
morning.
There's not many people I'd like to spend all hours of my Saturday night with, but you guys definitely take the cake. Hanging out with everybody, you, Lawrence, when he's coming on, and having Allison and Kayla in the mix and everything like
Yeah.
that. It's a fun group of people. And what I like about it is like this week, I had some stuff going on and I wasn't really feeling quite up to it. But by the time it was coming around time to do the show, I realized, you know what, that's exactly what I need right now. Spend time with my friends.
Yeah. That's the hard thing, right? Like, you get in that mode, especially as a guy, right? And not that
Yeah,
women don't do it, but guys, I think, tend to do it more. You get in that mode where you're not feeling great, not feeling energetic, or just depressed, whatever you want to call it, right? And your first instinct is I'm going to go sit down in my room or my living room or whatever and just watch TV, or leave the TV off and just listen to music, and kind
right.
of go into your shell, right? When really the best thing for you is to, be out and talking to your bros, right?
Yeah,
But it's a hard thing to force yourself to do,
it can be. It definitely can be. So it was one of those things where I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I messaged Aaron a little bit before you guys all went live on his channel, and I said, you know what? Earlier I was feeling really down, but took a couple moments to myself and took a nap, and I'm feeling a little bit better about it now. We'll see how things are going as the night goes on, but I'll probably pop in a little late. And sure enough, that's what I did. And then we all had a blast until the wee hours of the morning again. So,
Yeah, I I had to laugh because towards the end, we had Ken and Steve on with Aaron's show, right?
mhm,
And I kept looking up at the picture of Aaron. You could just see that boy falling asleep. I was worried he was
he
going to
was
fall.
going
I was worried he was going to land his face in his paint tray.
right, right. But
But
I
that's
mean,
late for
hey,
him, man. He made it to like what, 2 or 3 in the morning. Damn.
I'll say though, right? Like it was a pretty big thing. His channel was the first uh public channel to have somebody come really out, and I mean, I think Mega J night before got to show off a little bit of
Yeah,
what Steve had there, but opening up those toys on Payne's opening up Delta 17
yeah,
and playing with them on Payne's channel, having Ken be able to
yeah.
do like
Especially
an
Ken, right?
in-depth
Because
walkthrough.
he had all the dudes, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So being able to show that off, Payne, he got a special debut on his
that's right.
live stream. So it was a really big deal. And that's one of those things where you push yourself a little longer on that. Like, holy crap, this is happening. I'm having new toys debut on my channel. Let's go.
Yeah,
So shout out to you, brother. We appreciate you hanging in there with us and
right.
allowing us to really show that off. And what a great place for it too, like within the community.
Yep.
just like the clubhouse has become the Saturday night thing, and it's not just my channel. It's beyond that now, right? Because like you and Aaron, you guys can pick up the torch. Brick can pick up the torch. Thanos can pick up the torch. Any of us. Bud could
Well, on
pick up the
top of that,
torch if
it's
he wanted to.
simulcasted now sometimes to like 7 channels, right? 8
Oh,
channels.
yeah, so you're broadcasting to a wide audience. Even if
So,
not everybody's contained in one chat, it's a
yeah.
wide audience to show off on.
I mean, shit. Lawrence got a super chat the other night on
All right, right.
from his channel onto Payne's channel. So I was like,
That's
damn.
pretty cool. Yeah, you know, and I think that's great. It's something really awesome for the community. The community is really drawn to it because I mean, the numbers are there. Like, you know,
Oh yeah. Well, shit. Now we have like Tony's been coming. Tony's Figs has been coming regularly.
yep.
Lawrence. I mean, Lawrence has been popping in and off. Quite a while. For quite a
Hmm.
while. KJ stops by once in a while, and Ken's been showing up once in regularly, and
Yep.
there's the staples. Me, you, and Thanos, and Bud and
Yep.
Allison are pretty much staples. Kaylee usually tries to show up if she's not.
Not busy with something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. Just, it's this chance to see this crazy group of friends that all met up over this weird, crazy hobby that we all do.
And here's a guy right here, Fat Rafu. We got to get you on a live Saturday night, man. Oz is great at popping cherries. He's really gentle.
I'm good at it, man.
He won't hurt you with the insertion.
I'll treat
really
you
slow
right,
and
and you'll
easy.
want a cigarette afterwards.
Yeah, you got to come on and pop in with us some night, Fat Rafu. It's a great time, man.
That's the whole thing, right? Like it's just, hey, let's have fun and hang out. There's no pressure. All that's off. There's no overall decorum, really.
Thanos said it worked for me.
Right. Sure did.
Right.
Got Thanos going lives. Now he's running his retrospectives and doing stuff for his channel. Yeah, it's phenomenal to see.
We don't use lube.
Well, yeah, Lawrence don't use lube.
No. He's so small he doesn't need it anyway. He can't even feel it.
Oh, won't feel a thing. You can tell he's not in the chat. He ain't have something to say about that.
He's probably listening in the background. He's trying to get his computer hooked back in so he can type.
Probably it.
Yeah, motherfucker. God, I love Lawrence. He makes me laugh so damn hard.
He's great, man. He's truly, truly amazing. I'm glad I started coming across through his community and watching his lives and stuff like that and joining in because he's just fantastic. It's great.
He was on his show last night and I died because he's talking about Viper Island. He's like, that fucktard. I'm like, did he just say fucktard?
I totally did. Pretty sure that's not PC, but sometimes you just can't fucking care.
It's definitely not PC, but
I mean, honestly, let's face it. That's some bullshit, man. You're gonna fucking hit low and hit him with a copyright shit. Fuck
it's
off.
the only way he can fight back. He's taking away. People are hurting his image, right? And
you want to fight back? Put out better fucking content.
On bullshit, and he likes to get all those free customized figures that people send him for God knows what reason.
If you want to battle back, put out better fucking content. That's what you need. You have no idea what'll happen randomly on the clubhouse.
Yes, it's always a surprise.
It is.
We have people that sound like they're making love to seahorses, and we have prolapses.
We've had prolapse. I mean,
you never know.
I've been hosting my channel for over a year now, and I still have no fucking idea what's going to happen every damn Sunday, Saturday. No clue. It's always a wild ride. That's why I stopped playing in topics and stuff like that. Yeah. Like there might be an underlying theme, but there's truly no topic, and nothing is sacred on my channel.
I love this coming from Travis. Punk is awesome. I love that little dude. He's fucking great.
Exactly, man. Like I say, we got a hell of a community out here, and all my guys from Toy Frenzy, and still love doing the show with them every Thursday. Like,
yes, and Thanos might show his dicks off.
He might show his dicks off. Many, many sizes. Some might call them small, but I just don't care for his shit.
Well, Viper Island is actually in the media world, right? That's his job.
Right.
He's actually in that world.
Exactly.
The problem with Viper Island is that most of his shit is just things he dreams up, or then the other half is shit that he steals from other people. So that's the
Yep.
problem with Viper Island.
Nothing
And then when
original
you
to
say
bring.
anything about it, he attacks you. So
Yep. How could you forget about the seahorses? Fucking
rumor is it's
seahorses forever.
production in the Bahamas. That's awesome, Fat Red Foo.
We'll make sure Kayla knows.
Yep. Speaking of Kayla, did you see your post today or yesterday? What was that today?
Yes, I did. People,
we got to try figuring something out because
yeah, we got to
do it right now, but I want to help for sure.
I'm in the same boat. Everything is strapped down too hard at this point to really pump out anything extra. But
maybe we can discuss it backstage Saturday with the boys and figure something out, or on IG. Just because, like she said, right? Like she doesn't want handouts, right? Which is
no, but that eBay store, putting it on blast for everybody. Come check out this stuff. Buy something.
Yeah, we can definitely get it out there, right? So I'm going to share it. I saw Nostalgia Unbox shared it today, so I saved it so I can share it. And I saw some of this. She showed us some of the stuff that her mom does, right? It's some awesome stuff. So
it is. It's really cool. You know, like she's restoring and breathing new life into a lot of old things, and just making works of art out of them. Really.
Entertain the troops for a minute, Oz. I'm going to pop that link that she shared into.
Yeah, absolutely. Entertain. That's something I can do. It's something I've been gifted with. I don't know how. I don't think I'm that entertaining, but apparently I fucking am. Maybe it's because I've just changed my voice randomly like this and start talking all kinds of shit. And nothing's funnier than hearing a voice like this being like, yeah, man, what's up, motherfucker?
What's up, motherfucker?
Sitting around, gotta fucking smoke these 40s and drink these blunts and shit.
Right. Where's the link, Kayla? Where's the link?
I know she had it posted on her IG.
Yeah, I'm on the IG, and of course, I can't really do it that easily from my. So, Oz, can you put this in the chat for me? The seller, it's just the seller's name.
I can try. Let me see if it'll let me here.
Oh yeah, you're on your phone. I'm sorry.
Let me see if I can pull up the comments and put it in. It says join the chat. Son of a bitch! It won't even let me join the chat because it's not my.
It's Tracker Arts. Just remember that, just like it's spelled. Tracker
Arts.
All right, so. For those of you who don't know, Kayla is a dear friend of ours, and she is part of our community. And her mom was diagnosed with cancer sometime this year. I can't remember exactly when now, but and she runs an eBay store that does like refurbishes art pieces and like repurposes things into other things, all very there's a style of it, but I can't remember what it's called. But
right.
Anyway, her mom is going through chemo and stuff, right? Which is expensive. So Kayla has asked, since they don't want handouts and give me's, if we could if people would go and buy her mom's stuff off her eBay store. So her mom's eBay store, Kayla's mom's eBay store. I don't have a link, so I'm just going to give you the name. eBay store
Tracker Arts
is Tracker. Is it Tracker Arts or Art? What did I say? Arts. Okay. Yeah. Tracker Arts. So go check it out, and if you can afford to pick something up, I'm sure you could find something to give your wife or your mom or your dad or something for Christmas, or birthday coming up. You won't get it by Christmas now, of course, but go and support her. She's a wonderful human being. She's got to be good, because every dog I've ever seen her with, because she does dog, takes care of people's dogs for them, and they all love her. So she's got to be awesome.
Right. And when you buy something from her, make sure post a picture of it, right? Yep. We all post pictures of our collections, and we post pictures of different things we got. Post a picture of what you buy when you get it in, and then spread the word about where you bought it, so other people are going and checking out our shop, right?
That's right. And here, like Allison says, right? Her mom has some amazing stuff. It's not just junky junk. If mom were on eBay, it's not
Yeah,
like junky junk. If my mom were on eBay or Carl's mom,
right, right. It's not just like see a lot of people that'll go into like antique shops and thrift stores and find like these things and then they'll buy them at like dirt cheap and then resell them on their eBay store. Like, no, she'll buy something like that and it might not even be something that's worth that much, right? But she turns it around, makes it into a work of art.
yeah, she showed
And
off some of
then,
her stuff on your stream, what, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I think,
yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
and from the store. And man, awesome stuff, right? And
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
as soon as I
So,
get to the point where I can, I'm definitely going to be picking something up just to show my love.
absolutely. Yep. Show some support and add something really cool and eclectic to your collection.
Carl's mom would be
Oh, Lord.
corn.
I don't think they could put that on Cornhub.
And that's why we love you, Allison. Oh God, that's funny.
How about that Haslab? That Haslab his tank today. The AliExpress one. See that?
Mhm. That was awesome.
Hey man, it was definitely legit. Said
Oh,
right on the box too. It was made in China from Hong Kong.
I love they even had the picture of the don't cut the box that they had, like the little logo, so you don't cut the.
It's just the fine details that actually made it worth it, right?
Yep. Oh damn.
What is his Primate 7635? Some random numbers or whatever. He sent
Yeah,
that to
something
me.
like that.
He sent that to me today, and I was like, "No fucking shit."
Did that really go out? I missed the story because I couldn't.
No, no, no. It wasn't anything like
It
that.
was
It's
just a
just
joke,
somebody
right?
making a joke post about
Yeah.
it. But damned if it wasn't funny. And if
Yeah.
you've ever ordered from like Wish or AliExpress, that's what you expect, right? Like you get their knockoff version of whatever the big popular product is, and
Yeah.
it shows up, and it's like that's not what it was.
Yeah. It was from Vader's Vault. Actually, is the guy that initially posted it.
Yeah, who made the post? Yeah, because he sent me. It was somebody had posted a screenshot of that guy's
Yeah.
page.
Well, like I've ordered quite a few things from Temu and Wish. Right now, usually it's just
Mhm.
stuff that I'm going to use for a dio, so it's not like I'm
It
investing.
doesn't
I mean,
matter,
if you
right?
go on Wish and you're looking at the computers, or thinking you're really going to get a pair of leather shoes for $4.95, come on, that's
Yeah,
your own fault for falling for that game, right?
right,
But like like the little glass vials that I sent you and Thanos and Pain, right? That are just for
right.
dio,
Yeah, that
right?
stuff.
I picked those up off of Temu. I got like 3 packs of them for like $1.95, 3 different sizes, right?
Right,
You can't
and they're
go wrong with
great.
that kind of stuff, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, I forget what it was. I picked up something off of Wish. Oh, what was it that I picked up? It was something Dragon Ball related. Um, and like it came with like a gift or something. And it was like the little Dragon Balls on like a keychain or something like that, right? Now the way it presented them, they looked a lot bigger and it didn't show that they were a keychain, but then when they showed up, they were like these little keychain thing. And Connor just thought they were the coolest things ever. So I'll let him have.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you're surprised, right? I ordered a 1/12 scale sword off of Temu, right?
Mhm.
Barbarian style sword, right? And I was going to use it for the AWOCs. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Now, it didn't say it was, what it was or anything like that. It just, it was just a 1/12 scale sword. Well, I got it, and the damn thing was like a letter opener. It was so big you could never put it into, it was too
Right. It's
big for
not
a one
exactly
six
going to
scale
work.
figure sword, right? It was like, and it was sharp and it was heavy. I was like, damn,
Like, what 1/12 scale is this?
right? Exactly. But I think it was like 1/12 scale, like 1/12 scale of that sword, right? And that's the
Right,
problem
right.
that we have. Like we use scale, but scale doesn't always work out because a 1/6 scale car is not the size, it really doesn't calculate out to 1/6 of a car
Yeah.
like it should.
Yep.
Awesome, Thanos. Awesome.
Epic, man. Epic, brother. Great job. Got to support
Yeah,
our friends any way we can. If
that's
they
right.
can't accept a handout or something like that, but it's something as easy as buying something off of them,
Yeah.
well, heck, there you go.
And it's like Thanos or Lawrence was saying about Cobb last night, right? Cobb's not a member of his channel. Cobb doesn't, like do super chats and whatever. And it's not, that's fine, right? I'm not a member of anybody's channel either. But Lawrence was saying like, Cobb just sharing all of everybody's posts, right? Cobb's always, sharing my posts. If I post to Instagram, my shows come in your post and Lawrence's post and his post. And, that's, helping out right there. So like spreading the word about Kayla's stuff, even if you can't, financially support her, sharing it away, is definitely, definitely helps.
Exactly.
So.
It's a way of supporting the channels. Like I used to share a lot of stuff before I had the job. Once I got the job, that cut down drastically because I like miss it throughout the day. And then by the time I'm back later and able to actually do stuff like that, I just like I either can't find it or I don't see it anymore kind of thing in my feed. And then it's like, shit. And trying to track down everybody's stuff is tough. But
what I hate about Instagram? You go on there and you see something, and then before you can actually do anything with it, it like updates,
refreshes.
Yeah. and then you're like, where'd that post go? I wanted to share it. And
right. But
anyway, after I cut you off.
Oh no, it's but just share it, get the word out. That's how we grow. Mm-hmm. And if people aren't really paying attention, that's cool because you know what, those aren't necessarily the people you want in the community anyway, right?
Exactly, right.
The people who are drawn to it and go, hey, that's pretty cool, and start checking stuff out. Those are the people that are going to stick around and be like, hey, yeah, this is where I belong, because that's kind of how we all met up.
That's right. Like once Travis actually gets off his ass and puts his store up, I'll gladly put that all over the place for him. But
right, for real, Travis, get up off your ass,
full of excuses, right? Oh, right, I'm so sick. Oh, come on, you little pansy.
Look, man, we got Bud out here with one fucking kidney doing shit. Okay, you can fucking get up off.
That's right. Bud's out here with one kidney doing stuff. 1/124. We're going to hold you to that.
We'll see, because I'm pretty sure there was.
Right now, you only live about 4 hours from me, so I'm going to come there and hunt you down if it's not out there on the 1st.
There you go.
We love you, Travis. We're just busting your balls, man.
Always, brother. Well, like the moment Travis showed off Hexastack, showed off his idea, I was all in from the start. I was like, yes, this is it right here. I was like, I cannot wait to get these out there, start seeing them in people's collections, and just seeing him succeed, man, because it's a good system overall, right? It's well beyond other similar products.
There are some things that he's shown and some things that he hasn't shown out that are, in additions to the stands, like.
Right. She sent me a couple of preview images.
Add to the stands, right? And it's just like, it's a great concept.
Yeah.
And, what a way to make your display really pop, I mean, like,
something that's dynamic. Right.
You could take, let's say, 6 of the stands or whatever, right? Make like a nice little honeycomb look to your, and with some of the other stuff that he has, pop it up in your living room, and with the right figures, it wouldn't even look that, it would look good, right? It wouldn't be like,
it's not just going to be that
figure standing on a shelf, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not going to look like those plain like bleacher risers and shit like that. Like, no, like you can really do something that's more dynamic, more organic, and really just pop. And with the additions of what he has coming, it gives you a lot more options for how you can store and do things, and just the look of everything. And nobody else out there is producing a product quite like this. It goes well beyond just the stands itself. And what
not even just the stand itself. I mean, like, there's that other guy, the one that served him the C&D, that's just a copy
fuck that
of
shit
everything else, right? That shit is just the most brittle plastic in the world, right? Travis's stand, right? You could put a General Thane on there and not have it fall over. That's a stand, right? I mean, that figure's one big motherfucker.
And it's more universal too, right? Because he's got like just that open, like sleeved kind of like put your foot in here kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Well, guess what? Some figures got bigger fucking feet than that. Travis has got the answer for it.
Exactly.
Right? He made a dynamic system. It's not just a stand,
Right.
it's a
It's a system.
fucking system.
Exactly.
And that's what I like. I like when things there's systems, right? Like one of the things I love about the Mythic Legions is that it's a system. One of the things that makes Lego so successful is it's a system and it evolves. And the Hexastack is going to keep evolving because fucking Travis don't quit.
No. No, he's got a whole notebook full of ideas. He's probably he had a whole notebook at PowerCon, so he's probably got 2
Right?
notebooks full of ideas now.
Probably. It's been months, so he's got to have
Yeah.
way more. And
But, you
just
know,
like,
like, not only like the whole thing with the stands and all the other, you know, add-ons that he's got going and planning on doing and stuff like that. You know, if you are, let's say, like Fat Red Foo, right? So 1/18th collector, right? And he was
well,
to go to Travis and say, "Hey, Travis, I really want to figure out a way to display my 1/18th figures differently, right? Can Hexastack work?" You can goddamn bet Travis is on top of how to make it work for 1/18th scale.
exactly. He's
Whether making it so you
probably
can put 2 figures on 1 hex or making smaller hexes or whatever it is, right?
right. Like he's already on top of it. He's already trying to figure new stuff out. And he's working with other people within the industry to make sure that it is viable and better than
Yep.
what we're already seeing out by people.
Hey, Travis, speaking of something I was going to tell you, and I'll pop this up here. Something you should look at for your Hexastack, because you know you got like those things that display your trading cards and stuff. Since Savage Crucible is making challenge coins, you should figure out a way to display challenge coins along with the figure.
Yeah, but who's
Just
going to
an
buy
idea.
who the drink?
I was at my a couple of the guys that I was in PA with are they're pretty heavy Christians, right? Great
Yeah.
guys, love them to death, but you know, some of them are very into their faith, which is cool. I'm cool with that, right? I got my own beliefs, but
Nothing
so
wrong with that.
these challenge coins are basically Christian based, right? They say put on the whole armor of God from Ephesians 6:13-17, and then it talks about the breastplate, the helmet, the shield, the sword, the sandals, the belt, and all that, right? So when they gave this to me, I was like, how does that work in the bar? My friend's like, what are you talking about? Now, he wasn't in the military, right? He's
So
like,
he
what are you
doesn't
talking
know.
about?
I got it.
I was like, so when you go to a bar in the service, you throw down your challenge coin, the
Right,
last person to throw it down buys the round. I said, so
that's it.
the last person pouring the holy water, what's going on with these?
It's the last person to get the sacrament.
Yeah, right? You're the last person to get healed.
Yep.
If God has any more power when he's done with us, then you can help.
Then you got it. Coin holders. There it is.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Like
see.
Savage Crucible has those coins, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, how cool if we have the stand with the figure on it, and then either a whole row of the coins in front of it or a coin holder on the same stand as the figure. I mean, that'd be
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. Outdoor sides can give you some kind of terrain feel. He's already got something in the works for that, Ray. Already got something in the works.
Terrain top. I don't know. I think Ray's talking about the size. The size would definitely be tough, but he's doing something. I guess he is doing something in the works for around the outside of it, but not each individual one.
Not each individual one, but you'll see as more gets revealed.
I thought you might have, Travis, because you know
there we go.
Your brain doesn't work much different from mine. Yeah, outside stands, right? Exactly.
Yeah, around the perimeter of it all.
Heroescape, yeah, that was a pretty cool toy line.
That was what it reminded me of the moment I saw it was Heroescape. See, there we go. Travis is already working on the stuff, man.
That's right, man. Travis is on it, so
he knows he knows the ideas, and the best part about it is he's involved with the community.
Yeah, exactly.
So he knows the kinds of things that we're asking for and things that we want to be able to do with display. So he knows like he's listening to us. He hears us, folks. He's within us. So he really, really kind of is. He's got his ear to the ground and he's pulling everything he sees. Like,
Oh yeah.
and he's finding ways to implement it. And it's solid the way he's doing it. It's not like half-assed or not well planned
Yeah.
out or thought out. Like he's really putting in the work to make sure that
Right.
it's feasible to do.
Yeah, like I bust Travis's balls all the time because he announced Hexa Stack, I think in May or
Uh,
April of this year, on
right?
Hella Dope Toys, right? And I knew about it a couple weeks beforehand, of course, because Travis and I are bros. But I bust his balls all the time about getting it out. But like I always tell him behind the scenes, hey, when you launch your product, you want it to be the best product, right? So if you're having an issue and you delay the launch of it, that's better to launch with perfect product than
Right?
try fixing something halfway in between and hoping people aren't mad because they bought
They got a
shit stuff and you
subpar
got
product when it
better stuff
launched.
outward. Yeah.
What's
So
it's like one thing that I've noticed that comes across from, and I'm putting this out there as nerd culture, right? Because I used to work in video games and, getting back involved with toy collecting more recently now in the past couple of years. And it's one thing where a company rushes out a product or a game and it's not finished. And then, like, you get, okay, well, we're going to launch a game and now we got to do a day one update kind of thing, right?
yeah.
Or like even with Mondo, right? They rushed out those He-Man probably
Yep.
because of Chinese New Year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the QC on the He-Man and that Shira that came out beginning of this year was just not quite right. So waiting and taking that extra time to make sure it is the quality product, because that's your name that's on that now, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're putting out that premium product and we're okay to wait as long as we see the value in it when it comes out, right?
Yeah. If you
That's all
go
that
to the
matters.
store, right, and you buy, or you don't go to the store to buy them anymore, but like if you go online to Microsoft, right, and you buy a game for your Xbox or you go to, buy a game for your PlayStation or whatever, and it's a year old or a year and a half old or even 6 months old, right? And you install it and it says you got to update, right? Totally get it because there's been, things, patches, and
Yeah,
everything else right over
right.
the last 6 months to a year. When a game's just released and it's released at midnight on Christmas night, and they force the shit out of it to get people to buy it on Christmas night, to get that last
Yep.
year, last of the year sales. And as soon as you download it, it says, "Oh, install this patch and install this." Right? Fuck that! You guys rust the shit out of that to
Or
get it out the door. Right?
it doesn't even say that, and you're playing this busted ass broken game.
Right.
People remember that shit.
Yeah.
See, Travis is on top of it, man.
Yeah.
That's how
But
it
yeah, that,
goes.
like I tell Travis all the time, man, put out, launch that product, have a couple, you don't have to have all your adjacent items to go with it, but if you have a few to add to your store, it just makes the store, more appealing, which is kind of, same thing I told Hella Dope when they first launched some of their, when they first started really getting big, man. You got to, spread out the items and get it so people can see stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
no one's going to go to a site that only has 3 things unless it's an Etsy store, right? Because when you go to Etsy,
Yeah.
you know what you're
You're
getting.
looking for one particular thing,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Exactly. When you go to a store, you want to, like Radnom. Radnom's Etsy store has, a couple things, right? But
yeah,
if you go to a Shopify site, you hope that it has, many items that
yeah,
can be purchased.
exactly. Like it's a bigger box retailer.
Yep.
And it's one of these things where, like again, with pushing it back, right? Like Ace catches a lot of stuff with Ramen Toys because like putting out a lot of pre-orders for stuff, but there's not a lot of product out. We got to think about it, man. If he releases a dud, he's done, right?
Yeah.
Like with
And you also
his
have to think about the
product,
fact that, him taking pre-orders and taking the money up front, he hasn't designed the mold yet, right? I mean, he has the design, but he hasn't cut the mold yet. and he hasn't, put the process through. Then you got to do the proofs, make tweaks, reproof, paint
Right.
proofs, all that, right? The shit takes time, right? It's not a quick
Yeah.
process unless you want to put out garbage, and he
Right.
doesn't want to be the guy that's just 3D printing play sets and vehicles, right? He's
No.
manufacturing them, right?
Right. This is going into production into a factory, and he's got to make sure that when it comes out of the factory on the other side, it is a quality product.
And
So just
like
think
Ace
about it. If he
knows,
were to,
right? He said something like on the 1-3 POA about the bread van, right? He's like, I'm not going to take pre-orders from the bread van till I get the cars out, right? Because
yep,
he understands, right? I got so much money from people already that nobody's going to give me any more money until I get them out. He knows this. He's not a dumb guy, right?
yep, yep. But he's also, he's very smart. He's very savvy, and he'll get the product out
Oh yeah,
when
he's
it's
got his
when it's
stuff out,
ready.
right? I mean, he's got some of the Centurion things, whatever he's calling them, commanders.
Commanders. Yep.
He's got some of the
Machina.
Machina stuff out. So I mean, he's got
Yep.
stuff out there. It's
Yeah.
just
And you got to remember with that Machina stuff too. There's a lot of extra engineering that goes into those.
right. And he
And
also
he's
had
got
to
to make
delay
sure
that
all
because
that works.
Hasbro fucking put the kibosh on him.
On the one thing because of the packaging. So he had to go back to the drawing board on his packaging, and that's cool. But that's what it is, right? Like it'll get here. He hasn't stopped the project. He's still pushing forward with it, and he
Yep.
just showed off some updates on the Marshall today.
Yeah, he's selling the taking pre-orders for some of the prototype figures.
Yep.
The
So
samples. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I love the Marshall. I got that on pre-order.
it'll be good.
I mean, I loved Brave Star. I wasn't even a kid when Brave Star came out. I mean, I was a kid, but I was a teenager. I was like 14 or something when that came out. But man, even Luke and I watch Brave Star once in a while. We'll get into a kick and just put it on YouTube and watch some of the episodes. Love
Oh, so
3030.
cool.
Can't
So
wait till
different too.
3030 comes out, right? Well, I'm a big
Mhm.
fan of the westerns, right? And then you take and make an
Yeah.
actual, like, everybody talks about like space pirates and space westerns, right? You actually make a cartoon that is a space western. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm sitting down with a bowl of Lucky Charms and I'm watching.
Right. Oh man, that's what we still need to get going. We got to get the Saturday morning cartoon hangout, but that's
Oh
more of
yeah, we
a
got to definitely get that going, and we
that's
also
going to
got
be
to
more
get
of a
the
private.
possible monthly D&D thing started.
That's going to be coming in the new year. I think once we get past all the Christmas madness, we'll be better set to be doing that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, Travis, why don't you just end all your collection lists with ... That means it's never ending, right? So you can
Right?
just keep adding to it before the dots.
It's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming.
That's a nice price for the Jada Toys Universal Monsters Frankenstein. Nice.
Oh, that's one of the best. Honestly, their price is so reasonable compared to so many others with what they give you.
I'm
Oh,
looking. I mean, like I got I got him for Luke because he likes the Street Fighter line, right, from Jada
mhm.
Toys. But I always get him and he opens up here. I play with him and then he takes him and puts them with his collection. But we got the 3 so far. I didn't get any of the exclusives. The Evil Ken or the Gray Ken, whatever
The
story.
Ryu, yeah, the
Yeah,
evil Ryu.
yeah. But I got the other ones I'm going to get for him and shit for
Man,
$25. First of all,
right?
the packaging is badass, right? I mean, it looks just like
Yes,
an arcade, right?
so
And
good.
then, I took Ryu out and started playing with him after Luke messed around with him a little bit. And it's like, damn, what a quality figure, Didn't feel
Right?
like it was going to break, could still pose it. The material for the overlays is so soft and pliable. It doesn't impinge any of the articulation.
Yeah. And then you got the stuff like the Count Chocula, the Frankenberry, the Boo Berry. You got the Chester the Cheetah, right? Like I want to see more of
Oh
that stuff come out too.
yeah.
Because I love the little accessories it comes with, like the little box of cereal or the little bag of chips and everything like that. Because then you could just transpose that into your action figure photography, into your collection somewhere else. Like it's
That's the thing,
just
right?
so
Like
much
those
fun.
cool obscure characters, like I got that Alan the alien from Invincible, right? I had no
Right.
idea what Invincible was, and I saw Frank posted some pictures of it, right? And I was like, I got to have that. It
Mhm.
doesn't really fit into my collection anywhere, but it fits in everywhere at the same time. It's
It's
like,
so abstract and obscure.
yeah,
It's like Plunder Lakes, right? Like Plunder
yeah,
Lakes just fit
exactly.
in with everything because it
Yeah,
doesn't quite fit in anywhere of its own.
right. Thanos using them as kind of like Christmas gremlin or elves, this year in his thing,
It's
right?
hilarious.
Perfect, right? Awesome pictures. So
And
Allison says she set aside some time over the holidays to get her cast account set up so we can do the cartoon thing.
yes.
Travis is asking about planning for a D&D live stream. Yes, we are planning
Yep.
on doing a monthly Saturday night clubhouse that is
Just us nerding it, doing D&D.
D&D.
We want
Yep.
to find a way to make it interactive with
Mhm.
people in the chat as well as people on screen.
Yeah.
Different ways to just be able to interact and engage and have a good time. It's going to definitely be beyond what we necessarily see with like the people at Critical Role, because that's a lot of
Yeah.
fun to watch, but we want to make it a
Yeah.
actual like fully interactive thing, but it's got to be available for people to jump in and jump out each week or each month,
Right.
that as we do it.
I think what we're
um
going to have to end up doing is create factions. So, like,
sure.
a lot of the people, like, I'm usually on, you're usually on. Pain is pretty much a guarantee. Thanos is pretty much a guarantee, right? And we'll all be, let's say, leaders of that faction, right? And then
Yeah.
people that are there usually that don't come on, like Rhea Black or Alex or those guys, right? That don't usually pop on live, but maybe they want to participate. They can participate by joining whatever faction they want, right?
Right.
So we'll
And
have to figure out some way to do it so they can interact with it and enjoy it and
yeah,
participate in it, right?
exactly. Make it's more about having fun within the community with each other and making it again just something that we can all have fun and get into.
You know
And for
what?
those
Speaking of that, I wonder, right? This might
Hmm,
be something that we could work. Let's just say, for example, right? You have a faction, I have a faction, Thanos and Pain have a faction, right? If we use, say, your StreamYard, right? But we
yeah,
simulcast it to my StreamYard, my faction could technically be in my StreamYard chat and play from there. That way we could have
right.
like
We'd
we
see
could
it
have like
communally.
right, you could talk about it, right? Like, hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to cast a spell? Do we want to fight? If we roll a 7, we can do this, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then you could chat and the other people would actually see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have to look into that. It's another idea.
Yeah, yep. Like I said, we'll figure it out because again, it's something that we want to do as a big thing for everybody. It's something that I've thought about since I've started the channel, and I'm glad that there are other people who are like into the idea as well, because that's just again taking it up to that extra level and a great way to play with toys too. Because like you can make it's not exactly going to be like Dom's game that he does, but like you make your character, and if you have the figures to be able to create that avatar of your figure, you can have them sitting there right with you and having a buddy
Yeah, we'll have to maybe set up like a StreamYard offline to start with, for
and sit down and kind of work out the
yeah,
ideas.
work out the regulars and work out the who do we say has the experience as a DM?
Um,
Lucha Johnny.
uh,
Else
Caleb
said that?
mentioned Lucha Johnny.
Oh yeah, Luca Johnny. That's
Um,
right. Yep.
I know Jesse from Just Shelve It
Yeah.
has experience as a DM. So, like, we could definitely get people involved,
Fat Red Foo says he can totally be an NPC.
right? There we go.
That's awesome.
There you go. He's got the epic
Got his
Skyrim
backstory already
line.
created.
Yep.
Love it.
So, I mean, we've got ways that we're going to work this out, and it'll be a lot of fun. We'll definitely try to have some kind of visuals. Like I said, if you got a
Yeah.
toy, you could create an avatar. If we get the Legion's community involved, especially like they've got a system, you can do pop and swaps, make custom characters. It'll be interesting and a lot of fun.
Yeah, we definitely got to have it so it's not just our faces on there all the time, right? Like it'd be so
Right.
cool to get like something where you can do like a digital rolling of a dragon dice or something like that,
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. Like some kind
come
of graphic visually to go
yeah,
along
kind
with
of
the whole
graphics
thing.
and stuff, right? And they don't have to be something playing all the time, but like I'm sure you've
Right.
seen those guys that turn the TVs into the D&D tabletops, right? And they have
Yeah, yeah,
the
stuff like that.
oceans and stuff and the mountains and the volcanoes and shit on there, right?
Yeah,
We
we
can't
can
go that
always figure
detail
out some.
without, but I'm sure you can get some decent stuff for probably free online. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yeah, figuring out how to implement it with
Right.
StreamYard or whatever, and
Yeah.
figuring out that. But we could definitely do something like some overlays.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's some of the big ideas coming into the new year. Just a little extra fun thing that we can do for the hangouts.
Well, we
You
have
know,
enough brain power with enough different backgrounds and skill sets. I think we should be able to come up with something pretty easily.
yeah,
And then it's just a matter of putting it all together.
right.
But yeah,
Getting
Travis,
it
if
all
you want to
together.
play, dude, once we figure it all out, we'll definitely include you for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of this whole thing.
Yep.
Just have fun playing with our friends, right? Who needs to go out to a bar drinking when we can all have fun hanging out Saturday nights
That's
playing
right.
D&D? Stuff like that when we were kids used to get your ass kicked, but now it's just cool.
I remember when I was first married to Luke's mom, um, her grandmother was old school, right? Kind of like,
Yeah,
the religious type of old school, right? Like she was all upset that Ange and I lived together before we got married, and like that we were living in sin and how could we do that? And then we moved into this apartment that was like owned by her aunt, right?
yeah,
The the sister of my Ange's mom, who had the mother that was old school. And she's like, you need to have that place cleansed before you go in there and have a priest come in and bless the house because the last people that lived there, they were D&D players. And I know they were bringing in demons and summoning evil
satanic.
spirits. I was like, Graham, how do you know they were playing D&D? She's like, I walked in there one time because they hadn't paid their rent. And Vicky told me to go get the rent. And I went up there to get it. And they were all rolling dice and in their black robes and just, I know, had candles going. I was like, okay, Graham died laughing. Yeah,
I
all
don't
those damn
remember
Satan worshipers playing D&D.
don't remember any satanic rituals in the Bible involving dice, but okay, Grandma.
Yep. uh,
The Lord
that was a
Satan
big
said
thing,
I
though,
must
right? They
roll a
tried to
plus
promote it
6
that
to
way.
win.
Those religious people tried to blackmail the whole or black market the whole D&D
Yep.
things.
All the satanic panic of the 80s.
Yep.
That's why Masters of the Universe couldn't be called Lords of Power.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, Ed. I think I got to be getting rolling on here.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
it's
to.
11:00. It is definitely time to call it quits. So, for those of you who I won't see or talk to before Sunday night or Monday, Merry
Saturday.
Christmas, Happy Holidays. Love you all. Thank you guys for hanging out. For those of you who I'll see, whether that's on Thursday on Punk's show or Friday on Payne's show or Saturday when I'm on Oz's show, and I don't know if Oz is doing a Christmas Eve show. I might jump onto
I'll
there.
be doing that too.
But yeah, if I don't see you guys, have a wonderful Christmas and enjoy the time with your family and your friends and loved ones. Take time for yourself. There's nothing selfish about taking some time for yourself when you need to.
That's
And
true.
anybody that needs anything, never hesitate to reach out. We're always, we got a great community here. So Oz, myself, Thanos, Fat Red, Briscoe, all you guys, they'll either make you laugh or we'll give you a big hug or try to help you any way we can. But other than that, man, everybody have a great time. Thank you all for coming by, and I'm going to play us out.